error, same heart. Just forever, every snap left a mark. Make the story better, take it from the start. Every legend played a part. Some changed the game, some more the number, some earned their fame. Different eras, but the spark was the same. Left a mark on our hearts, we remember their names. Yeah, different eras, same heart. Just forever, every snap left a mark. Make the story better, take it from the start. Every legend played a part.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Nick Shine Show. I am your host, Nick. Show's produced by Cisco Lopez, musical artist Blitz BK. You are the awesome chat. Thank you for being here. We'll be joined momentarily by our guest tonight. First time on the Nick Shine Show, Omari Brown. So sit tight, take the volume button, turn it all the way up, annoy the neighbors, shut the block down. It's Blitz.
It's got beef.
Gentry covered in bumble.
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his prime, it's Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined, to get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the host with the most, Nicky.
Who, me?
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.
Fantastic.
Fantastic indeed. Now, before we even get things going tonight, producer Cisco Lopez just sent a Venmo, and I am loading it up right now. So at the end of the show, Cisco just gifted 10 channel memberships. At the end of the show, anyone who gifts during the program tonight is eligible to win his bonus entries since he's not able to. All right. His 10 went to Jaden D'Angelo, Joe Mike, Bradshaw Manager, PH, Odd Job, Yeetus Deletus, The Benny Baboon, Justin 4Ocho, G Money, and Robert S. No relation to Robert C. This is for Cisco.
Here we go, baby. J-E-T-S, Jets, 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 let's go, baby.
To the member.
All right. Without further ado, let's bring in tonight's guest. What's up, Omari?
What's going on? You got me?
I'm good, man. Mike sounds great.
Perfect.
A
Perfect.
little
Yeah, man.
switcheroo, so
Yeah, we had to. A little,
Good call.
technical difficulties, which, my introduction, if you've seen me on Jake's show, I'm always fighting, the technical difficulties. But yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me on, Nick. Looking forward to this. Really looking forward to it.
yeah, we met in AC. I've seen you on Jake several times, and actually we have a connection. When in March, I moved to days, and I was the Wednesday morning guy, and then now you're the Wednesday morning guy. So we are connected, even though you're not aware of that. So I'm glad that we've been able to connect through that. So I love your takes. I love your. I'm a very big fan of logic and rational takes. And every time I hear you talk, I'm like, this guy's right up my alley. This is somebody who I got to talk to. I got to have him on because, I'm not a big fan of the overreactive, everything's the end of the world type. Like, yo, let's chill with it. Let's think this through. Why is this happening? Why isn't that happening? Why didn't they get this player? How come every time there's someone available on Twitter, it's we got to get this guy. We got to get this guy. It's not Madden. Chill. You got to build a team the right way. And speaking of that, let me get your take. Darren Muji. I'm a huge fan. And I was with Woody Johnson, and I said to him, you're building it the right way. No panic moves. Don't rush this. Keep the course as it is, and then bring in the quarterback next year in a structure to succeed. And you see everything that we have on offense. This quarterback, whoever it may be, is coming into a team that's got 2 first-round picks at tackle, a second-round pick at right guard, 2 1s and a 2 at receiver, a 1 and a 2 at tight end, a 2 in the backfield. They have really quietly put together a lot of premium assets into this offense. And the Jets look like they're ready to take flight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, I agree with everything that you said. My thing is, so I'm big on the draft. And I always tell people the reason that I've gotten so involved and so obsessed with the draft is because the Jets haven't been able to draft good players. I always remember thinking back to, I forget, was it 2016 with the Calvin Pryor and Clinton Dix draft, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought Clinton Dix, not that he was, a world beater or anything like that, but I knew that Rex needed a ball hawk. And it just kept racking my mind. I was like, why would you take a box safety or a guy that couldn't cover when you already have those players? And then it ended up being, played a little bit more. So I always tried to figure out why the Jets made these moves. And then, extrapolate that even more into the NFL. Why, what are you looking for? Why do some players work in certain areas? And then if they go to some franchises, they wouldn't work. So I say all that to say Darren Muji's done a great job with the picks that he's supposed to hit on. I believe that he's 2 for 2. Now, David Bailey, he still has to go throughout that, but I was extremely high on David Bailey. I love the profile of the player. I love the mentality and the tools. Armand Membo is going to be an all-pro here shortly, either this year or next year. But, then I also say
you'll love this.
Subscribe to the Nick Stein Show, man. Come on. You heard him. You got to do it now. Don't make the all-pro right tackle come after you. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you.
soundbite.
I'm calling him all pro before he even gets there. I am 100% locked in. Penny Sewell, Tristan Wirfs moved to left tackle. The best right tackle in football title is up for the grabs. Go take it. And I think by Jake's outing, by the Dolphin game, people are going to say it's a no-brainer. He's the best right tackle in football.
Yeah, I think some people are already calling him the best player on the Jets team. So he's absolutely phenomenal. He's one of those guys, just plug and play. And that's what you want from a first rounder. I think Darren Muji's done phenomenal in terms of his premium picks. So rounds 1 through, I'd even give him 3. They didn't have a third rounder this year, but again, they were able to get 4 players in the first 2 rounds. Day 3 still leaves a little bit to be desired. Malachi Moore may not make this team, even though he's on my 53. Kiko Maui is probably on the bubble. And then you got Arian Smith, and then you have Tyler Barron, right? So again, you can give that excuse. It was his first draft, new staff. He probably didn't have his players in. I would say this year, it already looks better than it did last year. So he is learning as he goes. If I'm going to criticize, the only thing that I don't like is that he's not picking players in the draft's strengths. So last year, he left the draft without drafting an interior defensive lineman, and the draft was littered with interior defensive linemen. I think that was one of the most talent rich at that position in the last 5 or 6 years, right? But he was able to mitigate that because he went and made the trade for Harrison Phillips and Jawan Briggs. So again, that kind of leaves you evenly. This year, linebacking depth was a real issue, and safety depth was an issue. They chose to go the route of adding veterans, which I understand because they for all of the off the field stuff and all of the superlatives, they needed professionals in there. They needed adults. They needed all of that, and again, they also needed people with stronger mentality. So I do agree with that. But again, I feel like he had an opportunity to really build out that developmental and that talent pipeline. You didn't have to go get Sonny Styles. You could have went and got a Kendall Daniels or Jaden Duggar who better than to learn how to play linebacker at this level than from Demario Davis. You didn't have to go get a Caleb Downs or a Dylan Thieneman. You could have got Bud Clark. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Or you could have got a AJ Halsey, or you could have got a Genesis Smith, because what's one thing that this defense is truly missing right now is like a true ball hawk. Like I do believe that Minka, even if you think that he's lost a step, whatever he's lost physically, he's going to be able to make up for that mentally. So I do think that his process has gotten better, but I would like to see him just attack some of these positions that are more talented. Just because if you needed a linebacker, you didn't have to go get Jacob Rodriguez in a second. Like I said, you could have got somebody that you could have developed into that talent fund. You could have got a safety, but again,
I'm a Georgia guy, so CJ Allen was the guy I was screaming for when day 2.
Love CJ Allen. But I totally understand that, because I understand getting, D'Angelo Pond. So again, I was looking more towards day 3 guys that you can develop and learn. And then in year 2 or year 3, you don't have to go and pay somebody. You have one of these young guys that can speak the language. They've been in your system for 2 years, and now they're ready to take green dot responsibilities. So that I would like his process on day 3 to get a little better. And it has, it's moving in the right direction. But what I think he's phenomenal at is being proactive. So the Sauce and Garrett deals, amazing. The fact that he set up
and
the
Garrett deal is aging like fine wine.
Yeah.
How many people have
Garrett
surpassed him?
Exactly.
How many people have surpassed Brees? Like the second they signed the deal, it's like, all right, you're not even there anymore. You're falling down the list instantly.
And that was last season. You come to this season, Joe Tippmann gets signed early. Now, Joe Tippmann is that contract, because Joe Tippmann, you signed him before he really pops off and becomes a top 10 guard. Now it's going to be a bargain. You got Brees Hall before all of these other running backs got signed, and now that looks like a phenomenal deal. So he's been proactive, and up until this point, I think it sends the right message as well too, because every time it was time for an extension for some of these homegrown guys. You think about Jamal Adams, you think about Muhammad Wilkerson, you think about Quinnen Williams. It always got drawn out, and it always became a distraction. He's eliminated distractions. He's made guys feel like, hey, listen, we're going to build behind you, and they've been fair market deals for both player and team. So,
all right. Lou B coming in with a super chat says, Omari, what does Bailey do wrong against the run?
To be honest, I think that it's overstated a little bit. I think David Bailey, the Jets didn't draft David Bailey to set an edge. They drafted him to get after the passer. So what
Dunbar
sometimes he does.
They asked Dunbar a couple months ago, and Dunbar laughed and chuckled and said, we didn't draft him to stop the run. Like everyone's got to chill with that.
Yeah, Jared Verse didn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year because he set 84 edges efficiently. And I'm not coming at Lou B. I'm just coming at some of the ridiculousness that we've heard. So what does he do wrong against the run? I would say sometimes he comes too far upfield, and I haven't seen this at the NFL level yet. I'm talking about what I've seen.
He's been good.
Texas tape.
He's been patient against the run. There was a set against the Tampa Bay game where they ran an RPO. He froze. Which, with his speed, you could freeze for a second, read it right, and then take off. And then he crashed down the line once he saw that the ball did go to the running back. So, listen, that's a big upgrade for what we've had at edge the last couple of years with Clemens and others. Guys were just out of position all the time.
Yeah, just
and they're going to look to take advantage of a rookie who's going to look to get upfield, like you mentioned. So, I think for David Bailey, if you go get double-digit sacks, we'll take a little bit, I don't want to say poor, but
you can
less gaudy run stuffing numbers.
Yeah, I don't need him to be top 15 against the run. I just need you to be serviceable and not sell out the rest of your teammates. So to Luby's question, what does he do? I think he comes upfield a little bit too aggressively sometimes. And then in college and film, he never wanted to be stout at the point of attack. So if the run was coming near him, he would move laterally. And I put this in my Twitter evaluation of him. I think the lateral movement, trying to dip and dodge out of the point of attack running, is not going to be able to work. And he's already done that. I've seen him try to stack and shed. Now, listen, that's not going to be his game. And he still is going to have to get stronger. So maybe in year 2, he'll be able to be a little bit more stout. But again, that's just coming too far upfield, not setting an edge to make sure the flow, the linebackers can flow and make that play. That's, to be honest, what I've seen the most. But I think we'll be able to get a better idea, the first quarter of the season, what he truly needs to work on. But, as I've said, that's why they've brought in Enigbari and Joseph Osai. You want those guys setting the edge and really doing the dirty work, and then you want your guys like Bailey and Will McDonald to pressure the quarterback and getting sacks.
Yeah, I have a vision of even Briggs playing like that big end in certain times. If you think they're going to run, you could throw a 4-man line out there with Sweat, Animata, Kingsley, and Briggs and go with a big 4 and say, okay, go ahead, run it. So
yeah,
Aaron Glenn's got options. And getting into the topic of tonight's show, the identity. We had Minkah Fitzpatrick at the microphone today, who said this.
I think we've gotten everything done that AG has wanted us to get done. I think there's a few like schematic things and a little bit of details that he wants us to hone in on these last couple weeks. But I think for the most part, we've established our identity and we figured out who we want to be.
Now that's huge, right? Because for many years, we don't know who the Jets are going to be. We don't know what their goal is. We don't know what their vision is. I've been very adamant about this, and I've seen some of your tweets too, and I've heard you a lot on other shows. There's an identity forming here, right? Like you trade for Sweat. What's that say? We want to stuff the run. We're going to be stout in the middle. You go get Animata, one of the highest rated run stuffers. You bring in Demario Davis, the best run stuffing linebacker in football over the last 15 years, right? So your image is what? We're going to stop the run, and then we're going to go draft another first-round edge rusher because we want 3rd and longs where these guys can be at their best. So defensively, talk about the identity. And then, like you mentioned earlier, you go get Minkah. Now, he's only got 2 interceptions in his last 41 games. But it's like a Demario thing, right? This can be the value to Minkah. He could still cover. He'll make plays. But his knowledge, along with Demario's, is going to raise the water level of this defense. And you have leaders. You got Phillips on front. You got Animata. You got Davis. You got Minkah. We're going to be prepared. I don't have a doubt about that. People can question Aaron Glenn, but these players I believe in. And I think there's a lot to be said in the NFL about having great leadership and having guys that hold one another accountable. I've been very critical of Quinnen Williams. That the only time we saw Quinnen Williams animated was when he was worried about the amount of snaps that he was playing. He only got animated when it was about him. Very good player, but not a leader. Sauce Gardner, very good player, not a leader. Now you're bringing in leaders, and now you're starting to set a culture, and you're creating the identity that the Jets have lacked. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I think their identity, they're going to be smart, number one, because you have to be smart. And I don't think, for the most part, a lot of those players from that solid era were particularly smart football players. I think that they were good football players in their specific roles. And I also thought that they were mentally weak as a collective. I don't think that they earned a lot of the accolades. And I thought that, with the hard knocks, you have, there has to be a maturation process when you go from college to the pros. And I think that Salah's laid back attitude kind of gave them more cachet and free roam, or they felt like they could talk when they really haven't earned anything. So I would say I think Aaron Glenn wants his team to be smart, fast, and physical. And I think that you're seeing all that. They got faster at every level of the defense. They got smarter, and they have more physical players. So I think that that's going to be the identity. I think when you bring these guys in, they want to beat you up. And that's why outside of the linebacker position, they have bodies that they can consistently throw at the offense now. So I think that they want his identity, and it's probably going to be a little old school, but you always want to establish it. Football's a physical game. So you always want to impose your will on another team. And I think that getting exponentially bigger up front, I mean, you look at the Salah personnel from the D-line, and now you look at Glenn's personnel. I mean, these guys are big. Like even if you look, all you have to do is look at Demario Davis, like the size of Demario Davis versus Jamie Sherwood. Jamie Sherwood was playing middle linebacker for Salah, and he looks like a strong safety next to Demario Davis. So I think smart, physical, and fast is what at least the defense is going to be known as. That's going to be their identity.
Nice. Ralphie Rocks gifted a channel membership that went to, let me see if I can read this name. Oh, it went to Ralphie Rocks. Congratulations, Ralphie, and thank you, Ralphie. So to both Ralphies out there, thank you. I appreciate you. Again, Cisco gifted 10 channel memberships. He can't win prizes on this show as the producer. That's his own rule, and we abide by it. So as of now, at the end of the show, we have 10 Cisco raffles to give away. And Ralphie, you are the only one eligible to win that right now. $5 super chats, gifted memberships get you on that. And we will have a giveaway, a prize this Sunday night. We're working on a guest. I'm in communication with somebody, a Jet legend. We're trying to see if we can get it done this week. So I'm on standby right now with checking the schedule. But hopefully we have a big announcement to make with another Jets legend joining us, and we can add to our resume here on the Nick Shine Show. Okay. Harrison Phillips. You spoke about this earlier. Give me your thoughts on this. You have a head coach who's your defensive coordinator, and you spoke about a smarter team, right? Now, some of these guys, some of these veterans might be a half a step slower than what they used to be, right? But if you're a half a step smarter, you make up for it. If you know what's coming, you can get there. If you're not waiting to read it, and that's the thing I love about DeMario, and I love Sherwood going to off ball, because a couple things Sherwood can do. Sherwood can run. Sherwood can tackle. Sherwood could not play chess with the quarterbacks in the NFL last year. We were late to get aligned. We looked lost at times. Was that the scheme? Was that just him, a converted safety over his head, and not having that high school, college, those thousands of hours of tutelage that a normal middle linebacker would have in learning and reading and diagnosing plays? Now, hey, you're the off ball. Hey, DeMario's going to be like, yo, wide and out. They're throwing a swing pass. Get out there. These little things will put Sherwood in a position to be better. I am a big fan of Sherwood as the off-ball linebacker, with DeMario being the brains aligning him. But when you have an identity, I don't care if you're a half a step slower, if you're a half a step smarter. And you can be the fastest guy in the world. If you buy the fake and you're running the wrong way, Omari, you're out of the play. You mean nothing to us. But when you know what's coming, you can play faster.
Yeah, and so I think you're talking about the video of Harrison Phillips explaining. So if you guys in the chat can all remember, and you, Nick, remember, during Glenn's opening presser for training camp, he spoke about communication. He really harped on communication, and oddly enough, so did Darren Muji, who wasn't even scheduled to speak. And then they also talked about everyone speaking the same language. So that tells me a few things. Communication was poor last year amongst seems like the players and the coaching staff. And you can kind of see that, because I mean, I always go back to, I watched two defensive players run into each other during that Jacksonville game, which was just an utter embarrassment. So they talked about that. And then
tough, right? When we say it's an embarrassment, we got a lot to choose from.
Which is, yeah, absolutely. So like there were times last year where I just couldn't watch it, because I was like, listen, man, there's just better things that I could do with my time. But AZ Thomas was they did a profile, Quincy Enunwa and Eric Allen. It was a pretty good job that if you guys can go look back at it. And he talked about the intensity of having the head coach being your play caller, and how Glenn some days he'll come in unannounced and say, hey, he'll call somebody out and say, hey, what are you thinking in this down and distance? So Harrison Phillips echoed that again. He said sometimes Glenn will come in, he'll run the meetings, after he's doing his head coach duties, he'll come in, he'll run the meetings, and he says, what are offenses, like he'll say, hey, Nick, what are offenses trying to do on 1st and 10? You answer. And then he'll call out, he'll say, hey, Omari, what are offenses trying to do on 2nd and short and they're past the 50? And I'm like, oh yeah, they're probably trying to do something in the quick game. Or what are they doing on 1st and 15? They're probably going to run a screen to try to use our aggressiveness against us. So he said, we should all be thinking the same thing. So if it's first and 10, or if it's 2nd and 4, you should already know what the play is, because we've gone over that and you know exactly what I'm thinking for this down and distance. So, and that's how you get an entire team to have that sort of hive brain. So everybody's moving faster. So I would say the biggest thing that I liked from this preseason, I don't get too high or low on preseason. I just want to make sure that the operation of football looks good. And it does. The tackling and the effort to everyone swarming the ball. Everyone is swarming the ball. I mean, even in the second quarter, I was like, okay, that's enough. DeMario doesn't need to be in here in the second quarter flying around.
And they had him in with the second stringers
out.
too, Omari. I felt when I was watching it live that they're not going to play Davis and Sherwood this week. And they wanted to get them out there to get some calls with
Yeah.
the backups who could be rotational players going in with the first
Yep.
stringers. So that was the tell for me that they're not going to be playing this week. They wanted to get a couple extra snaps and say, hey, you were out there with the Mario. You're seeing what he's seeing. You're hearing his checks. You're hearing his calls in real time. And now we're going to sit all the guys who are locked into the roster this week.
Yeah, because on that second unit in the second quarter, you saw Will McDonald, you saw Jawan Briggs, and I believe there was one more person out there. And I said, okay, that looks
Sherwood.
like this.
Sherwood
it was
and
Sherwood.
Davis,
Okay,
Will
so
and Briggs. Those were the
and
four.
Briggs. I was like, so Briggs and definitely Will McDonald. Those are like the definite rotational
Locks.
pieces that
Yeah.
that are, and they want to make sure that they all have some synergy. So I thought it was good. I thought that, and let me ask you, what did you think about the tackling? Like specifically the open field tackling by the defensive backs?
I didn't know it was the Jets. Coming from a fan who's watched the Robert Saleh era, and guys were just Tony Adams throwing shoulders and not wrapping and not driving and not doing everything you're taught at Pop Warner level to do. It was refreshing. It's also preseason, and being the Jet fan, even though I'm very optimistic and I get picked on for being how positive I am as a Jet fan, I need to see it in real games before I could say we're actually doing it. But for a team and a league, not just a team overall as a league, there's not a lot of hitting. There's not a lot of tackling. There's a fear of injuries with the money that you pay these guys. You don't want to risk them getting hurt in friendly fire in practices. So it looks like you've made an effort to get better tacklers in here. And, if you're getting smarter players who know where to be, and then when they get there, they're finishing the plays, this defense could surprise some people, man. The identity's starting to be formed, right? We're going to be smart. We're going to be led well on and off the field, and we're going to make damn plays.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, because I think tackling is it's a technique, but it's also an effort thing. And that's what kind of bothers me, because I feel like, my coach used to always say, if somebody's walking down the street with all of your belongings, what are you going to do to him? And he goes, no, that's tackling. It's an effort thing and it's a want to. So a lot of the times when I see, now again, if you're one-on-one against an NFL running back, you're most like, the percentage is going to be low. But again, I just thought the technique was on too. I believe it was Jordan Clark. And I don't know if you remember this play. It was like a play action boot and it was going back the other way. And it was Clark versus, was it Freiermuth? It was somebody bigger than him. And I don't know if you noticed, but he swatted down his hand first, then went in for the tackle. And I was like, okay, now that's the attention to detail. That's something that I can take from preseason into the regular season. And what I also like is that they're swarming the ball. There were too many times, like if Tony Adams or Quincy Williams, who didn't really wrap up that much, would just throw themselves at somebody. There wasn't enough overflow of the defense to rally to a hit. And I feel like there's just more effort and there's more rallying to the ball.
I like it. We got a super chat from David D., one of our resident Detroit Lions fans. David, hope you're feeling well, man. Every day post-op, I hope it's an easier day for you. He tore his quad and then had to have it reattached, and he's late. He just had surgery on the 19th last week. So, David,
recovery,
we're praying
man.
for you, man, and feel better. He says, Nick and Omari, from what you have seen so far, do you think that Malachi Moore can get on track to be at least a good depth DB with the Jets or elsewhere in the NFL? How would you assess him on special teams? You want to take that first?
Yeah, I mean, I always thought Malachi Moore's ceiling was as a safety 3. Do you think that he can get on track to it? Yeah, I think that he could be good depth. As long as he can come in and spell some of those guys, or God forbid an injury, he can at least hold down the ship. I think that's kind of my ceiling right now for Malachi Moore. The only thing that was alarming is that I understand it was a bad team, but he played over 1,100 snaps, I believe. Like Malachi Moore, if you look at it, he was one of the few rookies to actually receive a bonus for snaps played. So, that just lets you know what Aaron Glenn feels about him right now, that he played all those snaps, but now he's out of the rotation. So I think that Malachi Moore, in order to rebuild some of the trust maybe and some of his value, he's going to have to be a monster on special teams. And I'm not even sure if he's going to be a gunner, because they really love what Stiggers and now Arian Smith can do. And now also if you want to get into this a little bit later, Malik McClain, he's popping every week on special teams.
Yes.
So, it's going to be, it's been a while since the Jets have, really had these tough decisions to make. I think it was one year during Joe Douglas's tenure where we were all excited that other teams were picking off Jets players. But again, he's going to have a long road to go because, the Jets had a historic special team. So he's going to have to, reinvent himself a little bit in that regard.
Yeah. You mentioned the amount of snaps that he had. He had over 100 tackles. And they said we need to heavily address the safety position. So I'm a big fan of self-assessing. And Glenn said he was going to do that when the season ended, not just the players, not just the staff, himself. And you look at all that film on Malachi Moore, and you bring in Minka, and you sign Belton, and you re-sign Cisco, and you draft Payne. Like, it's not, they're not hiding what their hand is here, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Moore is cut. I would be a little surprised if he makes the roster based on all the moves that they made. But VJ Payne being injured, maybe a short-term pup him and maybe more starts on the roster, and then you make that move. And, something that I am very big on when people say the final 53-man. No, it's the initial, because it's going to change 500 times for everyone throughout the season. It's not the final 53-man roster. It's the initial, because there's going to be changes probably before the season starts. There'll be changes made to that roster. But in terms of Moore, you got a lot of film on him, and you really heavily address that position. And yeah, that's I wish him well if he's not here, because I think he tried really hard, but I just don't think he fit what they want to do, or he's not capable of doing what they ask, because all those tackles were from the other team having so many more plays. He didn't make splash plays. He had the one forced fumble in London, the only splash play that I can remember, right? Or he recovered the ball that Brownlee knocked out.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yep.
So that's the only play I remember. Like, oh, wow, that's impactful. That can change the game. You made 100 tackles. Most of them were downfield because we couldn't stop the run, and it was ugly. So, yeah, I don't think he hangs on. I'd be really surprised if he hangs on here, David. But thank you for the super chat, man, and keep being awesome and rest up. All right. Now, we mentioned the linebackers before.
Yes.
And there's a bit of a shock in oh, man, come on, StreamYard. Let me play a quick video. I gotta refresh StreamYard. I'll be right back.
You have superpowers! You gotta fly over there!
All right. That's a perfect time to hit the refresh button and get back in here. Mike Clay of ESPN ranked the positions of every team in the NFL. And Jets fans, I know you have been very critical of this roster, of the linebackers. He put them at number 1. And he says here the 37-year-old Demario Davis is back after ranking 10th in the NFL with 143 tackles last season. He now has cleared 109 consecutive seasons, totaling 36.5 sacks during that span. The future Hall of Famer will team up with Jamien Sherwood, who's 308 tackles over the past 2 seasons, ranked 2nd in the NFL. Now, I don't think any Jet fan had our linebacking group ranked at number 1. We're very critical of our team. We're very critical of Demario Davis's age and Sherwood's performance last year. Are we overreacting? Like, is this warranted in your opinion?
It's a little bit higher to me, and when I saw that, I thought that he was putting the edge group in there with them.
Agreed.
because
I thought Will and Bailey were with us.
I thought Will and Bailey, and then Osai was going to be in there as well too. So it's a little bit. I think it's a little high. Demario's 37, and those 308 tackles. How many of those came him? How many of those were for positive stops in the run game? How many of those were? It's just they get 6 yards and Sherwood is just dragging these guys and dragging the ball carrier down. So again, I think that tackles can be a bit of an empty stat at times. And, tackles aren't the metric I would use to determine linebacker success. But I think that they would be, to be honest, to be fair, I thought there would be somewhere between 12 and 15. And, for as high as he has this group, I thought the edge group was 30th. And I don't think that that's fair, in that regard. So yeah, I don't think they're first, but I don't think that they're, dead last. But this was definitely shocking to me, because Demaro's going to be good against the run. Again, he's not going to give you a ton of production in the passing game, and neither is Sherwood as well too. So and they're pretty thin at that position. I always make this, they're one Demario Davis injury away from this defense possibly collapsing. Because then Sherwood is going back to green dot, and then we're talking about it's Kiko Marinoa or Michael Walker hours, and I don't know if we're ready for that discussion yet. So they're pretty thin, and you're relying a lot on a 37-year-old linebacker. So that was shocking to me.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Meehan, our resident Dolphin fan, says, "What the F is Clay talking about?" You know what? He's got the Dolphins ranked at 7, so maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about, Daniel. Say it's a double-edged sword here, buddy. You're ranked high too.
Yeah, so who's Detroit? I could pull up Detroit. Who's it? Derek Barnes? Who's the Detroit linebacker?
I know they lost
it's Jack Campbell.
Anzalone. They lost Anzalone.
Yeah, the chat is probably going to fry me. So it's Jack Campbell, who is a stud.
From Iowa.
And then Derek Barnes. Yeah, Derek Barnes and Jack Campbell. So it seems like they're running some variation of a 3-4-5-2, whatever you want to call it. And then they have Devin White, who kind of resurrected himself, and then Malcolm Rodriguez. So I even think at some point they have some depth. Now, you don't want Jack Campbell to go out, but if Jack Campbell goes out, you got Devin White, and then you have Malcolm Rodriguez, and you also have Derek Barnes. So I think that, that's a better group, because you would say that Jack is an ascending player. Demario Davis is either going to be descending or he's going to flatten off. And then Barnes and Sherwood, that's a wash. And then from a depth standpoint, that's a bit higher. And then Philly, I love the Philly linebacking core. You got Zach Bond, you got Jahad Campbell. So I think that, and then San Francisco.
Nakobe Dean is still there from Georgia, right?
I believe Nakobe Dean is on the Raiders now. I think he went to Vegas.
That's right.
I think Quay Walker. Yeah. So where's Vegas?
I was so frustrated for years because they drafted Carter, they drafted Davis, they drafted Nakobe Dean. Everything that I wanted the Jets to do, draft Georgia defensive players, and we end up with Arian Smith.
Yeah. So, so I would say that Las Vegas should be a little bit higher with Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean coming from Green Bay and Philly, respectively. So, again, I try not to, talk about people. It's incredibly hard to write some of these articles, but I think that sometimes a little more thought needs to be put into these articles as well, too. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I saw that today, and I was like, wait a minute. Is this a gag? Is this a prank? Is this satire? And then I looked into it. I'm like, wow, is this Mike Clay, or is this like Nick Shine writing the article? This is way too positive.
Right.
Wild Wave, member of the channel for 23 months. Thank you, brother. Two of my guys, dope collaboration. Nick, thanks for telling Woody to stop woodying. Really love the direction where this team is going. Thank you, Wild Wave. Yeah, I told Woody, that we love the direction that you're going. Don't panic. Don't overreact. Just stay the course. Let Muji execute this plan. So, and he called Muji the general to Lou B when we were with him for Good Morning America a week and a half ago. Seems like it was yesterday. It's a week and a half ago now.
Yeah. I think that's good. It's good. I think Woody just needs to be a little bit patient. And listen, I don't want to tell fans how to feel about Woody Johnson, but he has been patient. I thought he gave Saleh. I think Woody's been too patient at certain points. Some people thought that he could have fired Glenn after this year, after year one, but he gave Saleh a long run. He gave Gase a decent run. He gave Bowles a decent run. So he's given, he's given these coaches run.
Yeah, he has. All right, next question. And excuse me 1 second. We have a little milestone here. We have 69 of you watching right now. So shout out to our reporter on the 69 team, Diana Rossini. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are 7 away from 2,600. So please help support the channel, help it grow. We got a lot of great guests. We got Omari here for the first time, and as always, we're gonna do our best here. Myself, producer Cisco, and musical artist Blitz, to give you the best program that we can every day. All right, I'm gonna say it. A lot of fans are on this. Give me your take. Are we entering Jelani Woods season? Is this a guy who makes the roster? They got to put him on, right? You go with 4 tight ends and you figure it out.
Yeah, I think so. So right now, my initial, like you said, my initial 53, and I'm not even fully at 53. I have 4 tight ends I have 6 corners. I only have 3 linebackers. So Jelani Woods is definitely making the team. And I'm a big special teams guy. I just think that sometimes you just need those type of glue guys. So it's going to come down between guys like, Arian Smith. He's going to have to show something over this last game. Andrew Beck, Jordan Clark. I really like what he's doing. And then even Womack as well, too. So I think 4 tight ends are definitely going to make it, because if you look, the percentage of snaps that 12 and 13 personnel that offenses ran is up to almost 48%.
Yeah.
All right. And that the reason that's happening is because teams are sitting in nickel to try to keep up with the personnel, like the 11 personnel and things like that, which is 1 running back and 3 wide receivers. And then obviously 12 and 13 personnel, for anybody that doesn't know, is 1 running back, 2 tight ends, and 1 running back and 3 tight ends. So I think no matter what, I think that you need at least, everyone is going to need 2 solid tight ends, and then you're going to need a couple of those complementary guys. That one guy strictly for blocking, who's going to be Ruckert, and then one guy that can just kind of be like a red zone matchup nightmare, which is Woods at 6'7", and we saw that as well. So I think there's a strong chance that 4 tight ends make this roster.
Agree, and you can shift Ruckert into that Beck role if you decide to move on from Beck. But when you look at Woods' ability, and you don't have I think A.D. Mitchell right now, I don't think Tim Patrick makes it. I know they signed him, but I would be surprised if he makes it with the emergence of other guys here. You need that guy who's you can throw one up to, right? You can drag him along the back of the end zone and let him go up to a higher point than somebody else and try to, toe tap and come down with it. We know Garrett is a freakish athlete and can get up there with anybody. But sometimes it's nice to have that big body that you can just feel comfortable with. All right, I'm going to throw where only he can get to. He can run. He's not just a tall guy. He made a nice play the other day. He lowered his shoulder. He trucked his way into the end zone, and that's something that's a Kenyon Sadiq play, just waiting for him, right, in his athleticism. But Woods, I don't want to see Woods go. We always get injured, we always get banged up, and then we're looking and we're getting guys from Walmart to come in and play on this team. You got a guy in the building who can make plays, figure out a way to keep him. So we align with that. Next, some news that we saw today. Breece Hall on his way to coming back. He was running, he was zigging, he was cutting, he's putting a little stress on that groin hernia area. And Aaron Glenn said he expects a couple of these guys to be trending upward to be ready for week 1. You excited about Hall?
Yeah, I'm excited about Hall because they need him. And I think if you want to go into, I don't want to steer the ship, but if you want to go into positions, groups that actually, they need to be looking at the waiver wire, I think running back is one of them. I don't think Braylon Allen is an RB2. I think that he's best suited. You could sprinkle him in maybe 8 to 12 times a game. If that, I think Isaiah Davis is the better running back. And if Breece is going to be on a pitch count and Isaiah Davis still has to ramp up from his injury, I think that, I think we saw, the limitations of Braylon Allen. So I would hope that Breece is full go by the time week 1 is there. And so that was promising as well, too. And Glenn gave a pretty good health update as well. So everybody seems to be on track for week 1. So that was that was a good sign. I like to hear that.
Yeah. We saw that play the other day with Gino. They were 4 wide. They had 3 receivers. They had Taylor in. They had Braylon. They motioned Braylon down to the bottom of the screen. And as soon as he motioned down, I said on the stream I was doing, this is a Breece Hall play. And they ran the quick little 4-yard hitch, threw it to him. He got tackled right away, right? But with Breece, you have to respect Breece's ability to get past you. And now if Breece stops, that ball's there on time, he has the ability to make that first guy miss. Braylon, that's not his strength, but you saw the play get called because that's something they're going to do, right? They'll put Breece down there. If it's a linebacker or a safety who shifts out, you have to respect Breece's top-end ability. We saw it in Tennessee a couple years ago with Rodgers throwing it to him, right? Breece is just like, throw it up to me. I'll go get it. I expect a little more of that this year. So I think that was a Breece play that they called.
Absolutely.
But Braylon ran it, and that's why it wasn't too spectacular. But we know Breece can do that. Let's talk about Pons. Pons is coming back. Where do you see his role when he gets cleared? Do you think he's right in with the starters? Do you think he's inside, outside, a little bit of both, matchup dependent?
I think like they'll drop clues in these pressers to let you know how they feel about certain players, and they absolutely love the mental capacity of D'Angelo Ponce because they kept talking about they weren't even talking about anything that he did physically out on the field during OTAs. It was just his mental processing, how quickly he was able to absorb the playbook, multiple spots. So my thing is that and if you notice, if you go back and shout out to the chat if you guys can remember this. Glenn talked about him being a defensive back. He didn't just call him a corner. And I think that that's specific because I'm of the mindset, like I'm always thinking about where the NFL is going to be. And what's frustrating about the Jets is that they're always a step behind with the trend. So I'm excited that they understand, the sub packaging on defense now. They can kind of match up. And then I'm also happy that they understand where offenses are going in terms of the tight ends and having 3 or 4 different types of tight ends. So I think my thinking, I'm not completely jumping out the window and talking about positionless football, but again, don't just put D'Angelo Ponce in the slot. I think that they should be trying to get their 5 best defensive backs out there. So if that's D'Angelo Ponce in the boundary, if that's Jarvis Brownlee in the slot, and then that's AZ Thomas, and then you want to let Stevens roam a little bit and play some zone to keep everything in front of him so he can make better plays on the ball out there with Minka, then you do that. And I think that you should just play matchup. So if you want to dictate the matchup at certain points, I think you should do that as well too. So, people saying that he's just going to be a nickel, I think that that's a bit short-sighted. So I think he's going to be able to hit the ground running. My only worry is that with a calf, the stopping, the starting, the cutting, and the change of direction and all the lateral movement as a defensive back is going to do, I just hope that the calf is okay because you don't want him to come back for week 1 and then we lose him until week 7.
Yeah, and I'm that way with Sadiq, who was also out there today. A little bit, had the helmet. At the last tweet I saw, did he get in? Did he get in with team reps or no?
I thought he was in, but he was working in, and then he went back off to the side. I was reading what Antoine Staley wrote, but I would have to check that. I don't know how many snaps.
The afternoon practice throws me off because normally I sit down at lunch, I catch up on all the tweets, but with the later practice, that's my busy time at work. Yeah. So I wasn't able to digest all the information. But I did see the beginning of practice where we were getting the tweets from Antoine and Connor and others saying that he's got his helmet, he's over with team activities, but they didn't have him out there with the team yet. But that's another guy that, Geno Smith looked good the other day. I know there's a script. I know it's preseason, but it looks like they checked some boxes of what they want to do. And 2 of the plays that they ran, the touchdown play and the hitch to Braylon out in the flat, those are plays that I'm just looking at and I'm like, oh, that's a Sadiq play on the touchdown. Oh, that's a Brees play. And now you mix in Garrett, who can break anyone's ankles. And now you mix in A.D. Mitchell, who's not just a deep threat. He looks like he can run every route. My favorite play was the short little one on the blitz. He found the hole. He sat. Geno does something most Jets quarterbacks haven't done over the last forever. Hits him on time, allows him to evade the first tackler, and then lunge forward to get the first down. It's 3 extra yards, but how many times have we watched the ball get delivered late and our receiver gets drilled the second he gets there, the ball gets jarred loose, or the defender knocks it down or even picks it because the ball's not there on time. So it's a small little thing, but it can lead to big things because when the ball is there on time with all of these weapons and all of their speed and all of their agility and ability, Omar, we could be looking at a really exciting offense, which is something we haven't done in a very long time unless you're playing Madden.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like the things that we're harping on are things that professional football teams should do. You just expect them to do automatically. And I tell people if Geno doesn't have to be a top 12 quarterback. If the Jets can get quarterback 15 to 20 play out of Geno for 80% of the season, let's say that Geno's good for 12 games. 12 games. He's good for just 12 games, and then he has 1 or 2 implosions, and then the other games he's just a little bit, he's a little late behind. He throws a pick here. He throws, an untimely ball gets batted down. I think the Jets can be highly competitive. I think just with marginal quarterback play, with the talent that they have and the certain skill sets, I think the Jets will be competitive every week, and I think that's realistically what we could sign up for after winning 3 games last year. So my biggest thing about Geno, because I kept racking my mind before they made the trade, and I said, who could they get out here that can just deliver the ball on time? That's it. I don't need I don't need you to be a savior. I don't need you a hero. Who can get 170 good targets to Garrett, who could, put the ball where only so we could finally see what do we have with an AD Mitchell. Because again, if you don't fully evaluate, and you know what not having a quarterback does outside of it, just kills all of your hopes and dreams, is that you can't even properly evaluate the talent that you have on your roster. So if you can't properly evaluate AD Mitchell, now it's like, okay, what is AD Mitchell? And now you're sitting there with 3 first-round picks and you know that there's a good wide receiver crop. It's like, okay, but maybe this quarterback can unlock AD Mitchell. I think this year is about playing competitive football and finally being able to evaluate some of these pieces that you have on offense and defense.
Yeah, because I'm very big that the Colts are going to be in the top 3. Their schedule is absolutely brutal. And then you hope that the Cowboys or the Packers have a down year. And now your best case scenario for Jets fans is that out of the 3 first-round picks, ours is the worst in the draft, right? Because it means what? We're very close to winning. And now you're adding 3 premium picks in what people are calling a great draft. But you got to know. Say you end up with 2 in the top 6, and you can get your quarterback at 6, right? And now, do you go Jeremiah Smith? Do you go Stewart? Do you go Simmons? Like, here's my plan, right? Just to look a little bit ahead. Get me a skill guy with the S, Smith, Simmons, or Stewart. Get me a quarterback with an M, Manning, Moore, Mateer, Mestimate. Like, get me an M quarterback, an S skill guy, and this team is really ready to take off. But as you're saying, if Bailey and Will combine for 20 sacks, you might not need to go get the edge rusher. If you have a true assessment of what AD Mitchell, Cooper, and Garrett can be together, you might not have to go Smith. So you want to get that true litmus test of what you are, and what everyone else can be in your scheme, and your strengths. And again, you're self-aware, your weaknesses as well, and where you need to upgrade, which Muji has done very good with, right? Last year, D tackles, missed it. You mentioned earlier. What does he do? All right, Phillips and Briggs. This year, I have 2 positions, but I'll ask you first. What are maybe a couple positions, or maybe you have none, that where you look at the Jets and say, you know what, if Muji's going to strike post cuts, this is where it's going to be?
Yeah, I think the easiest one is interior O-line. So it's going to have to be, because I think that there are Josh Myers, or God forbid a Joe Tippmann or Dylan Parmentier away from Xavier Newman and Ines Cooper, who I did like, but I think that he's going to have to work on some things. He's got, I don't know why he's not playing more left guard, because I think that the Jets are pretty solidified on that right side. I think that's like the right side of that line. Even at practice, you've been to a practice, that line. I went to the joint practice the first day. They're moving people. So I think that right side is going to be one of those sides of the line where it's like, even if that we're running here, we're still going to get about 5 to 6 yards.
So I'm going to say when I was there, so we didn't get a real read on what could happen, right? It was raw.
Yeah. So I would say interior O-line, and to be honest with you, running back. I kept looking at running back, and I kept looking at Arizona. They just cut Trey Benson because obviously Jeremiah Love, 4th overall pick. You look at Tyler Algier, they just committed some money to him, and then James Conner. So I was looking at maybe you throw a late rounder or a 2028 conditional for James Conner, because if Brees is on a pitch count, the Jets don't have the luxury to kind of ease into this. Jake and I, we always say, I agree with him when he said this, that week 1 is a must win. I know that sounds silly, but again, when you have questions surrounding the coaching and things like that, you just can't afford to get off to a slow start. So I would say interior O-line and running back specifically, and then obviously linebacker.
Yeah. I'm looking at quarterback too, and I'm very, and quarterback's been a question, right? With Muji, he brought in Fields, didn't work out. I think that's more on Fields than it was the Jets. I think Fields just was a deer in headlights and didn't comprehend the scheme and held the ball. He had time. He had wide receiver separation. We saw all the film breakdowns. The ball just didn't come out. So I think that's more on him than it is than the Jets themselves, because we never saw that version of him. So I don't know if it was just not comfortable, whatever it is. We need a 30 for 30 on it one day.
Yeah.
But if Muji says we're good and it's just going to be Smith and Klubnik, I'm going to give him that trust. If Muji makes a move, I'm going to give him that trust. And that doesn't mean Klubnik's a failure. A lot of 4th round and beyond quarterbacks need time to develop. They need time in the film room. They need time studying NFL defenses. I think there's some nice traits with Klubnik. But if something were to happen to Geno, and say we're shocking the world, say we're we're 3-2 going into the New England game, and something happens after we beat Cleveland, and Klubnik has to start, that spread's going to be 15 points. You know, they're not going to put a lot of faith in Klubnik. So I don't want to see him play. I've seen the Jets do it too many times where they throw a quarterback out there before he's got the tutelage, before he's mentally ready to play in the NFL. I don't want to see that happen to him. I like the kid. I think he's got good traits, but I think he's a project. I think he's a long-term developmental type of player. So I trust Muji, and I think if it is somebody, it's going to be somebody we haven't even named. You know, it's not going to be McKee. It's not going to be Dalton. It's not going to be somebody that we're all expecting, just like last year. Nobody said Phillips. Nobody said Briggs, but they found guys that fit what they want to do. Maybe it's somebody that you got to go into the history books and see who Musgrave or Reich have worked with in the past, and maybe it's somebody like that. So it's going to be interesting, because there will be major overreaction, as there is with everything with the Jets. And if it is a quarterback, it's going to be Klubnik's a failure. They don't know what they're doing again in the 4th round. You're going to hear all that crap. But something they did do right, 1st round this year, they draft Bailey, best edge rusher in the draft. They draft Sadiq, somebody I've called the best overall weapon in the passing attack in this year's draft. That was my take on him. And then they went and they traded up, and they bring in Omar Cooper, the best yak in the NFL draft. Now, that's something that we need, right? That's something that we've been missing. We're missing that Lavernius Coles, Quincy Enunwa, give me the ball, and I'm just going to be a battering ram and go forward. Cooper is getting the Joe Tittman treatment. When Joe Tittman was a rookie, he was 4th on the depth chart at center in the last week of July, because they opened it up early that year because they had the Hall of Fame game. So the last week of July, there was camp practices that we were at. And Joe Tittman turned out okay. Typical Jet fan overreaction. Omar Cooper is working his way up. He's running different routes. He's got different terminologies. He's learning how to read NFL zones. Not everyone just all of a sudden is a starter. You see Carnell Tate, 4th overall pick. He's having some issues, right? They're not getting him the ball. Omar Cooper was out there today with the starters. He was out there the other day with the first team. Fans overreacting. Are you comfortable in Omar and what he can do? And, you know, as a 3rd receiver, I think if you're looking at 45 catches, 50 catches in a spread out offense, and you're impactful, and they run some gadget plays for you, the bubbles, the jet sweeps, a reverse or two, just get the ball in your hands and make plays. I think fans need to lower the expectations of what they want out of Cooper and what they expect. What do you think?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, I wanted them to get Casey Concepcion because I like guys that can win in a lot, that can play all 3, and he gives you the return ability. But again, I really like Omar Cooper. And again, if you look at him, he got better every year. So I don't fully expect him to jump up a level and then basically do what he did.
Speaking of jumping up, also a guy who can make a play in the back of the end zone too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
A little bit of a history there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I do, again, you know, and you said something that's really poignant, because 80, he's going to stretch the field. He can go up and get it. He's that typical X. Garrett can do everything, but he's your prototypical Z. You know, he's really quick. He's elusive. You can give him the ball. He can run every route. But then you kind of need somebody that's going to be basically a running back at the receiver position. And that's what Omar Cooper is. I mean, he broke damn near 40% of his tackles. He led the nation in forced missed tackle rate. I'm not worried at all. Isaiah Williams is a good story right now. It's a good message to send to the rest of the team that if you work hard, you know, we're gonna reward you. It's a real meritocracy thing. So I do understand what they're saying. At the end of the day, Omar Cooper Jr. is more talented than Isaiah Williams, and you're going to start to see that he's going to get better as the year goes along. Like I said this right after the draft. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, Sadiq is going to have 800 yards. Omar Cooper is going to do this. Listen, if Omar Cooper and Kenyon Sadiq combine for 800 yards, I think the Jets should be excited. I think the Jets and the Jets fans should be excited. Tight end is an incredibly tough position to play. He's going to have to learn multiple responsibilities. And Omar Cooper, there is going to be an adjustment to this. Like it's just natural. You know, his best game was against Indiana State. There are no Indiana States in the NFL schedule. So
we've been the Indiana State.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the Jets have been Indiana State and the Citadel. So it's there's going to be an adjustment. And I tell people all the time that in the beginning of the year, I'm not really looking for Omar Cooper to come out That would be great. But I expect his workload and his responsibility to grow each week. And then by the end of the year, the Jets should say we have 3 viable options that we can get the ball to in almost any situation. And I think that would be a good, I think that would be a good way to assess Omar Cooper Jr. But I'm not worried about it at all.
All right. Folks, you're watching the Nick Shine Show with our guest, Omari Brown. If you haven't already, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. I will pop that in a minute for you. Also, hit the like button. Subscribe here. We are a couple away from 2,600. If you could help us get there tonight, that would be fantastic. If we get there tonight, we'll do a giveaway. You put in the chat that you're a new subscriber, and I will verify it, and we will put you on the raffle wheel tonight. So it's a one-night deal only. But thank you for being here. And here is Omari's link right now. If you haven't already, go check that out. Subscribe to him. He's got great stuff coming out. I always love listening to him. His takes, like I said, very logical, very rational, very detailed with his analysis. And that's something that I enjoy listening to. So I think you guys will enjoy it too. If you enjoy here, you'll enjoy him as well. All right. Give me your thoughts on this overall team. Now, we've broken down the team left and right, front and back, specials, defense, offense. What's the projection?
So I gave my projection. I'm going to stay on that. I got them winning 7 games. I think Jake and I did we played the win-loss game. Now, that's a bit on the higher end. I think that's the books
high
have
enough, Omari. You're on the Nick Shine Show. That's not high enough,
bro. So I know that a lot of the sports books have them at 5-5, but I do think that they can sweep the Dolphins, and I do there's some 50-50 games in there that I think that are going to swing the Jets' way, and I also do think that they're going to be competitive with. I don't know if they're going to win one against the Bills and one against the Patriots, but I do think that they're not going to get swept by those teams. So I'm getting a win from there. And honestly, I think my biggest surprise that some people have is that I can see them going 2-0. You look at Green Bay. I can't hate watch Dallas because my fiance is a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I can't do that. But I do think that the Packers are in for some regression, and it doesn't have anything to do with their offense, even though I have some questions there. I think their defense is taking a step back, and they really struggle without Micah down the stretch. So I think if you can go down there
without him,
yeah.
They lost every game without him.
Exactly. So me and you guys, if anybody follows me, you already know how I feel about Robert Saleh-led teams from a head coaching standpoint. I think you can absolutely go down to Tennessee and, to be honest, really, really put it on that team. And then coming home, it's fair game. It's the home opener. It's the whiteout. You just beat Robert Saleh. Let's come smack Green Bay around because they don't always travel well.
That place will be rocking. You beat Tennessee. And we're 1-0 at home for the whiteout, and the Packers fans travel well, so there will be an extra effort by Jets fans to control that crowd and be loud. That place will be buzzing, man.
But if they go down there and they beat, let's say that they beat them 24-10, they beat them 28-17. People aren't selling their tickets for the home opener, and then if you go 2-0. Now it becomes, hey, it's a Glenn returning to Detroit, and all of a sudden it becomes a Glenn revenge game. I was telling Boy Green, I was like, it's I love, as much as I love the analytics and the analysis and all that other stuff, I love the drama of the NFL as well too. So I'm all about a good story. So I have them going 7-10, and and I think that that kind of puts you, depending on where you are about the coach, that kind of puts you in a difficult difficult position. But me, I think tanking poisons a franchise, and even worse, poisons a fan base. So I'm never going to tank unless they start off 0-7, and then I'll be Lieutenant Tank. But I just can't tank in August.
Yeah, well, don't ever introduce me to your fiance, and I'm glad you had the earbuds in, because I will be hate watching the Cowboys, the Colts, and the Packers.
She's watching. She always watches.
Not only helps our season, but it could help our draft positioning as well, because the Packers are getting another loss. So it's a double win, something that the Jets don't normally help themselves. We have to rely on other teams to help us, right, when it comes to it. But if we can go out there, we can knock off the Packers, and we can be 2-0. And now I'm locked in on 2-0. And then if you're 2-0 and you're playing well, maybe you go steal one of those in Detroit or Chicago, right? They have an off game. Everything goes right for you. You know, you get the tipped ball, their field goal hits the upright instead of ours or missing, right? There's a lot of things. They make the costly penalty. There's another thing I want to discuss. This team, you mentioned the tackling. They're playing smarter. We're not seeing stupid penalties, right? We're not seeing, now I get it, small sample, vanilla schemes right now, but we're not seeing stupidity from this team. And that comes with the leadership, and that comes with the understanding of the scheme and where to go and what to do instead of getting out of position and trying to fight your way back. The Jets are looking smarter. They're playing smarter. They're not doing this dumb shit that we are so accustomed to seeing them do. So, I mean, look, you go in, you go 2-0, and then maybe you steal one. And then now you got Cleveland coming in. You could maybe be a winning record at 3-2 or 4-1 going into New England in mid-October. And if you're there, your whole season's right in front of you. Now you're being taken serious. Now you're a team that's on the rise. And I want to bury this. When does Glenn get his first victory? Go win week 1, right, Omari? Win week 1. Do the Steve Young. Take the monkey off the back. That you feel that pressure release. We celebrate like crazy. And are you in Nashville or no?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
There's still time. There's 20 days.
I know.
Tell your fiance that I'm getting married and it's my bachelor party. We need you down there. I would never get married, but she don't know me, so I'll live up the lie for you to get you there. You're my best man, by the way, too. So whatever. It takes
absolutely.
Let's do it. I need you on the bachelor party.
No, I'm with you though. I'm with you. It's
give me 9 wins.
I just think 9 wins.
A healthy team.
Yeah.
If they're healthy, with Gino and Garrett,
I'm not gonna
sign me up for 9.
I'm not gonna say I would love to see a 9-win team, right? But my thing is I just think the Bears are going to be really good. I think the Lions and Bears are going to be really good. I think those two are going to be battling so it's going to be incredibly tough to go there. So, and I said this, I think you have to go 2-0 because if you don't, the other side, I don't even want to. If you don't go down to Tennessee and handle business, you could be 0-4 coming into the Cleveland game. I just don't think you could be, because the NFC North, that's slowly approaching as one of the best divisions. And I think team for team, Seattle's extremely talented. 49ers are extremely talented, but all 4 of those teams in NFC North are really good. So you're going to have to do, that's a gauntlet to go against one of the best divisions. So, you could be staring at 0-4 if you don't handle your business. So that's why I just think that they have no choice but to go 2-0 in my mind.
Yeah. We have to. Well, folks, it's been a pleasure having you on, Omari. I appreciate your time, and we got to do this. We got to do this more often, man. We're in sync with a lot of our takes, so we got to make this a regular thing, either on your show or back here, whatever you want, man. Say the word. I owe you one.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. This was great. Shout out to the chat, and thanks for having me on, man. This was awesome. Looking forward to doing it again.
And I'll be tuning in. I'll be watching you. Be a good man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Omari Brown. I will drop his link again for those of you that have not already subscribed to him. Please do so. Also, we are in the midst of a new raffle. It's a new week. What does that mean? It means that we have a prize to give away this Sunday. Congratulations to the Dream for winning last night's raffle. He chose a Victor Green jersey. So the Dream, speaking my language, with choosing a Victor Green. And he said to me today in text, he goes, don't forget, Victor Green had a V on the back, V period Green. He's like, can you get me that? I'm like, I'll get you whatever. If I can get a 420 jersey for Addy, I can get you anything that your heart desires, my friend. But folks, you got to be in it to win it. $5 super chats and up, get you on the wheel. Super chats, gifted memberships. Also, we only got 50 likes. There's 75 of you watching right now. How did you just watch that hour and not hit the like button? Please do. We're going to play a video. We'll be right back. Discord members, I am dropping the link in there right now for you outstanding people. And if you have not called in a while and you are in the Discord, yes, I am talking to you. It's your time to shine. It's also time for Blitz BK. Let's do, we got to do Jets Take Flight.
Yo. Engines roar when the Jets take flight. Green lights glow in the Jersey night. Skyline lit when the squad ignite. Gangrene rolling, yeah, the Jets take flight. Yo, every show we bring the Jets all through the speakers clear. Real fan talk, we survive rebuilding years. Seen quarterbacks come, we seen them disappear. Still solid with my team, no bandwagons here. Dream stitch to my fibers, won't switch to the Niners. Quick like Vic, I see victims in my visor. Jets loss is heavy, but the pride is never left. Stood 10 toes down when the season felt like death. New season feels like fresh air. New OC and QB, man, I always love the fresh pair. Like the man Jordans that I'm rocking with my Jets gear. Hoodie but no cap out, never play it off, but we gotta get the Jets there. Let's share ideas for this team for this next year. It's fair to think we'll do better in those big chairs. Shit, yeah, hire Dream Bean to run this shit here. Take this playoff streak and make it disappear. Engines roar when the Jets take flight. Green lights glow in the Jersey night. Skyline lit when the squad ignite. Gangrene rolling, yeah, the Jets take flight. Jets take flight.
All right, we are back. Shout out to Georgie, ladies and gentlemen. Said, put me in. Georgie, I know somebody who would say that. And somebody that you could say that to as well. But I appreciate you, Georgie. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Now, not only did Georgie gift while we were away there at break, but also, whoa, baby. Let me see if I can say this the right way. We the people said, put me in, coach. Soo-woo. Nick is a guy. Nick is a guy. Nick is your friend. Nick is a guy. Now, if you put a K in there for Nick's is gay, then it works. And that's for you in the back. I see you shaking your head already. I mean, I knew that was going to work. All right. Now, Cisco gifted another 10 Nick Shine Show memberships. Shout out to him. His 10 went to Black Jet. Tea time. I got to golf. I want to golf before the season ends. So that's a sign right there that if I can make it work, I need to get a tea time. Trader Just, sneakers to boots, motherfucking shoe, Charles Gorman, Brian Farrell, Gary Fuller, and CT Jets fan. Thank you, Cisco. Now, there are 20 Cisco entries eligible at the end of the show. If you gift a $5 super chat or gift a membership, you are on a wheel tonight to win the bonus entries. Thank you, Weed. Thank you, Georgie. And thank you, Blitz BK. Blitz gifted a channel membership that went to Big Will. Thank you, Blitz, the musical artist of the Nick Shine Show. Sorry, Embolette. Listen, I didn't hate watch them, so enjoy your victory. That's the first year that I didn't hate watch the Knicks, and you won a championship. So you're welcome. All right, this next guy's camera is getting turned off because he's doing things in the back that I just can't have on air. It's hideous. It's horrendous. It's offensive to all, but I'm going to bring him on. He's got a Knicks shirt on, so we're going to have to shut that camera off. Yes, Knicks in 5.
Shout out, my boy Nick Shine. What's going on, man?
How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. It was a good first
20
hour.
days, babe. Oh, 19 days till we're together. 20 days till the game.
Dude, I'm excited, man. I know that it was just a preseason game, so I don't want to go, insane about it. But AD Mitchell looked good, man. Gino and AD. I'm not saying this guy, is going to be Randy Moss or anything like that, but think about a guy who was considered a throw-in when the trade went down. Exactly. This is a guy who could be a productive player for us, which I'm extremely excited about.
Yeah, I think he fits what we want to do. He's got the ability to take the top off of defense, just like Garrett, just like Cooper does. But you can also run other routes with him. When you have to respect that top end speed, like I was mentioning when Brees motions out to wide receiver, you have to respect him getting deep. And that's when you can get those hitches, because as soon as they turn their shoulders to get upfield, bang, you stop, ball's on you, and now you're in a position to make a one-on-one move. We're going to have a lot of yak. We're going to have a lot of open field plays where the ball is delivered on time, and these guys are just going. You saw Mitchell the other day, wide open on the sideline, nobody near him. That's just one sample of what is going to happen. Now, how many are going to be, all right, we're running it to safety, we break it back to the sideline. We run it back to the safety, we break it back to the sideline. We run it to the safety, and then we just break down the middle of the field, and they're thinking something else, and it's just a shot downfield with somebody wide open.
The thing that I was most impressed by, and I know TJ Watt wasn't playing in this stage of the preseason. It's as vanilla can get. But you had guys like Mason Taylor and AD Mitchell look really good. And this offense looks to be a professional offense, which to Jet standards, a professional offense, that might as well be the greatest show on turf, with what we've seen over the past couple years. And we still haven't seen Sadiq yet. So you got all these guys.
Yeah.
AD looks to be a player. Mason Taylor looks to have taken the step up. We all know Garrett is the man. And we still haven't seen what Sadiq is going to look like. And Cooper, he's gone on to a slow start, but I know that probably by week 4, week 5, he'll probably get into a groove of things. So this is exciting times, man.
Yeah. And you see the effort. I keep saying it. Like, you have 2 1s and a 2 at receiver. You have a 1 and a 2 at tight end. You have 2 1s at tackle. You have a 2 at right guard. You have a 2 in the backfield. You have put a lot of premium assets into this offense. There's talent here. There's elite talent and potential. Now, what's potential? Potential is just shit you haven't accomplished yet. But there is potential. There is talent. There is play-breaking ability. Bring it to life. That's all. Frank Reich and Gino, bring it to life. Figure it out, how to attack these teams. Get the ball there on time, and you can't stop all of these weapons.
Yeah.
If this were the Kansas City Chief weapons, or if this was the Rams, or if this was the Bengals, and you had a Mahomes, a Burrow, or a Stafford, you would be talking about one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. And in a year or two, we will be there when we get our quarterback of the future. But we are going to have some moments this year that give us glimpses into the future of what it's going to be like.
And the most beautiful thing about that, right, is if the offense lives up to the potential that we think that they can, that the ceiling that we think that they can hit, with all the cap space that we're going to have in the offseason, we could truly go, besides quarterback with our first pick or our first rounder, we could truly go BPA with the other 2 first rounders that we have.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do, say we have 3, you take the best quarterback, right? Like, let's just say we take the quarterback with our first pick, even though I'm somebody who thinks that it could work out where you can sit and wait. If there's 5 or 6 first rounders, you don't have to take the first one. But let's say we take the quarterback first. Now you're looking at, you could take the best safety, whether it's Golden from Georgia or Holden. I forget what his name is, but he's an elite safety. Whether Simmons falls down the board, whether it's Cam Coleman, a wide receiver, you can just go get the best talent, no matter a position, and add them to this. And then you can add a cornerback or a linebacker or a safety, or you can go quarterback, linebacker, safety, and just lock up the middle of the field. And then in the second round, take the center. And now you got quarterback, center, linebacker, safety, all in one class, and you got 4 leaders, right? You got your captain of the offensive line, you got the captain of your team, you got the captain of your defense, and you have the 2 future guys that are going to be wearing the green dots on defense, and you can go lock in your leadership for the next decade in one draft with premium picks.
Things are set up super nicely, whether it's for Glenn going forward, which I think that, for the most part, we all want. We all want it to be Glenn, but or it'll be somebody else, which, I think all the 2 most obvious positions to my mind that we're like, that are going to be competing for if they have a poor season is probably the Bengals. I think that'll probably be the other opening. I could see like the Commanders being the other opening as well if things don't do well. But I think if you stack up, if we don't retain Glenn, if you stack up our job compared to everybody else, I think this would be the most appealing situation for anybody.
Yeah, I would give up 2 1s though for Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow said some things like this is the year we got to win, and he said some weird things in his press conferences, I would give up 2 1s for Joe Burrow in a heartbeat. I don't care. I know he has injury issues, but the pure passing of the football for me, Stafford and Burrow are the 2 most beautiful throwers of the football in the league right now. Now Stafford's too old, But Burrow, if you can get Burrow for 6 years, I would give up 2 ones in a heartbeat for Burrow. With these weapons, yes, please. So I
On
hope that
paper,
Cincinnati has an awful year. Enjoy Dexter Lawrence. We'll take Joe Burrow. Thanks.
see, on paper, I agree with you. Especially with our O line, being 10 times better
Yes.
than the
There you
Bengals O
go.
line, and I think that Garrett's not Chase, but like he's still a stud as well, and the other guys around him. I agree, but at the same time, it's like I fear a guy like Joe Burrow who has had an injury history on that MetLife turf, like that. That's
the thing with Membu and Olu. He'll never and Titman. He'll never have to move. He'll be all right.
You're
He'll
right.
never have to move, Jeff.
Who
He'll be
knows,
safe.
man? I with our luck, he'll end up like getting he'll end up like you're doing a Teddy Bridgewater, where it's just like his leg just snaps on a non-contact play. So that's my only thing.
I feel like we're married and I'm going out for the night with my buddies, and you're just like, hey, don't fuck up our relationship. Like you're just like shitting on me before I'm even out the door. Damn.
I don't know. You had an audience with Woody Johnson. I don't know how you didn't bring up, hey, what's up with the turf stuff? Like,
I've been very clear about that. It's not them. I think it's MetLife. You'd have to dig up the concrete. You'd have to put in a tray system, and you would have to eliminate the majority of their concert season. And they're not doing it.
That's true.
There's a third entity. It's not just the Jets or Giants. It's how are you going to do it? You can't just put grass down. Go back at the early 2000s and look at the old stadium when in November there was balls and clumps of hay rolling around. Go look at the Jet Colts playoff game. I believe it's 2002. It's brown dead grass out on the field. You can't maintain it. You have your high school Saturdays there in December where it's game after game after game. It's the upkeep. It's maintenance. You have to have a tray system, and you have to have the ability to water it and the artificial lighting and everything underneath that all the other stadiums have. Vegas has a tray. Arizona rolls it outside to keep theirs, and they only have one team there. You can't just say, we want grass. How are you going to maintain it? How are you going to keep it right from week to week? What are you going to do when there's weeks where the Jets eventually are good and they have primetime games and it's Sunday afternoon, Monday night, but Sunday night it poured the entire day during the Giant game? What are you going to do now? We would be nuts if we're playing on a Monday night and we had grass and the Giants played the Commanders and the field is ripped to shreds. You need a tray system in order to make it work, and that involves construction and breaking up the concrete and building it underneath. And that is a very big plan to take on, and they're not doing that, in my opinion. I'd be shocked if MetLife says we're going to take 5 months and we're not going to have concerts until August.
Yeah, that's a perspective I've never really heard before when it comes to that issue. I'm just so curious because we're not the only team in the only stadium that has turf. So I'm just, what is the difference between our turf to where it seems like we have the turf monster and people get hurt on it more often than other stadiums?
Twice as many games.
Oh, that's true.
Twice as many games, twice as many opportunities. There was a statistic done a couple years ago after Bosa got hurt in the Niner-Jet game early in the season, and they ripped the turf. And there was analytics done, and it was a slightly higher number, a little more than 50% was turf, and there's still people getting hurt on grass. But the problem is everyone screams from the mountaintops when someone gets hurt on turf. And nobody says anything when it's on grass because they're pushing the grass agenda. So it's, there's a risk of guys getting hurt when you play football. How about we're not talking about let's do 2-a-days again. Let's get these guys in better football shape. Let's get these guys hitting. Let's get their bodies acclimated to these cuts at full speed instead of having a sorority house party for all of August because you're not touching everyone and you're doing coordinated dances and you're asking what's your favorite Taylor Swift song as they're coming off the field. No, let's get back to playing football the right way. Beat the crap out of each other in July and August, acclimate to it, and then maybe let's see if injuries go down there. Instead of ramping it up in the first week on September 13th and 20 guys go down because they're not used to doing it.
Yeah, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like
100%.
Yeah, because it feels like we're at a point where it's like these guys, their body isn't
right here. Excuse me, I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want to do a weed the people, but Tom says, you see how many injuries are happening in practices, and those are all on grass fields since they don't practice on turf. So what's the difference? Guys get hurt all the time, but nobody's screaming when it's on grass.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's AstroTurf anymore where you're playing on concrete with like a thin little putting green on it.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. So, but really, that's all I really got, man. Looking forward to Nashville. Hopefully, we come out of there with a W. To be completely honest with you, if we don't come out of that game with the W, I'm going to be highly concerned as to what's going to go, with this team going forward, because the Titans did not look good the other week, and they played their starters and against Seattle's backups. And I know that that's the Super Bowl champions, but still, man, Cam Ward looked kind of lost. And that's a guy.
Robert Saleh doing Robert Saleh things, Kev.
Yeah.
Team looking unprepared, vanilla defense, soft, missed tackles. Everything that we saw is who they're going to be. Yeah.
And if you guys remember, and I'm pretty sure all of us remember, that those solid teams, even at the points where they were the most talented, when it comes to roster construction, just at the slightest hint of adversity, those guys folded like lawn chairs. And it comes from him. I honestly think that him taking only a year off probably wasn't enough time for him to reevaluate his coaching style, because I think he got back into it too soon. But who knows?
That's a good point. Listen, I like Dable. I think Dable develops a good scheme, but I'm not a Cam Ward fan. And I think Robert Saleh has to have 4 elite pass rushers to have a good defense, and he doesn't have that. Now he's got Simmons. JJ's not elite. JJ is serviceable. JJ is a bottom end starter at defensive end, and I love JJ. I think he's great. He's been great to my kid. He signed multiple things for him, but I am playing smash mouth football, and I am running that damn ball down your throat until you show me you can stop our run game with 4 down linemen. Good luck to you. And then when you start to creep up, we're going to get play action. We're going to come to the backside with either Taylor or Sadiq, and we're going to do screens. We're going to have the pony package with Allen and Brees in the backfield, and we're going to do some trickery to get you being over aggressive to stop the run. And we're going to come back the other way and get guys in the open field. I'm waiting for a Frank Reich masterclass. You want big predictions for week 1? Bailey has more than 1 sack. Frank Reich shuts up all the critics. Maybe short term, but I think Frank Reich has a tremendous game week 1, and I think that's a storyline that we're going to be talking about post-game Sunday night at the hotel for the Nick Shine Show party.
From your lips to God's ears.
Amen.
But,
I hope he's listening.
All right, my man.
19 days until we meet.
I'm excited. All right, my man.
Later, bro. All right. We had a couple of things going on in the chat right as that call came in. Shout out to the Human Fund who gifted a Nick Shine Show membership that went to NY Jets fan. A lot of Jets fans down in North Carolina. But thank you, Human Fund. I appreciate you. And Adirondack Fly Guy, AFG, our guy gifted one, went to DYSL Studio, 8888-9. I said too many 8s. 8889. And Charles Gorman, who was gifted a channel membership earlier, which means he has spent so much damn money on Madden, he could not be a channel member on his own anymore. And says, hey, Nick, I hope you are doing well. Sorry I missed your show last night. Nonetheless, keep up the great work. Now, for those of you wondering about Hamburger Bun Gate, I texted Charles before the show, and according to Charles, none of the hamburgers have been consumed yet. I think he's a liar. I think he needs to defend himself. Have you eaten any buns yet? Don't lie.
No, I have not eaten a single bun yet.
All right. Well, maybe one day you will, son. You'll lose that virginity. I mean, never mind. Enjoy the meal.
I appreciate it, my man.
All right, buddy.
I'm doing great. I'm doing really well. I had a great day today. I'm just, obviously, this week is the final week of the preseason for us Jets fans. We play the New York Giants. Are we hosting or are we at the Giants? I forgot.
The Giants are at the Jets. It's Jet Life Stadium. It is a Jet home game.
And that's right. Then, of course, September 13th, we play the Titans at Tennessee in Nashville.
Yeah.
From your lips to God's ears, I hope we beat them, man, because anything can happen, man. So. And I have to say, I agree with you. I don't think we're really practicing. I don't think these football players are practicing like they're supposed to practice. Even if they do get hurt on turf or on grass, it's like, it doesn't make a difference. So look, I personally, I know Brian Dable didn't have his great success with the Giants his last 3 or 4 years, but I would take him over Robert Saleh any day of the week because at least his teams show up prepared most of the time. Whereas Robert Saleh, a lot of time they show up flat. They don't show up prepared. And whenever adversity hits him in the face, he just folds. I think he's soft. Robert Saleh, I think, maybe a great defensive-minded coach, but I don't think he's a great head coach in general, honestly. But you know what?
I like it. Charles spitting hate. I like it.
It's not spitting hate.
You're an opinionated working man.
It's not about spreading hate. It's just
spitting.
It's what we've seen in New York. When he was the head coach of the Jets, he didn't do a very good job. I mean, yeah, he did a great job building a good defense, but he didn't do a good job in developing the whole football team. The head coach supposed to develop the whole football team, and that was the damn problem.
Plus, he always say, "I'm collecting receipts." You sound so intelligent right now. I like this, Charles. This is good. We changed the meds. What's going on?
Nothing. I'm still taking my medication. What's up?
Nice. Nothing. I love you. I was just teasing you.
But we shall see. I do think Frank Reich. Did I start working? I technically started working last Friday, but I had to leave her because my non-driver ID expired. But I should get it I did pay to get it renewed last Thursday. I should get it either this Thursday or Friday, but everything's good,
When he went to fill out the paperwork and start, his identification was expired, and you have to have a proper ID in order to be employed. So that's on the way. Now we're waiting for the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission to send that to him. Yeah, Charles, a lot of people saying nice things in chat. Employment looks good on you. Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Hopefully we get to meet up in person one day. Seems like a cool dude.
It feels good, right, Charles?
Oh, it feels good. It feels great to be employed. It feels great to be a working man. It feels great to have money, to gain money. So, but what I was going to say was that, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I think Frank Reich is a better offensive coordinator than many people think. But I still think he's got some fuel left in the tank, or some. You know what I'm talking about, right? I still think he's got. I mean, he wasn't a bad offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. He wasn't really that bad of a coach in Indianapolis. I understand his tenure in Carolina and Stanford weren't very good, but he is a good offensive.
Hold on, Charles. Hold on. Hold on.
Said I ain't officially hired yet. He needs his ID. That's what he just said.
So you're not officially hired yet.
That's because I'm not into the system.
What if they hire someone else in your role within the next week? Is that a possibility? Not that I'm wishing that for you, but is that a possibility? Or are they holding
I called him today and I let him know that I should get my ID within Thursday or Friday. And Omar said, when you get a calls back.
Okay. All right. He answered your call. That's a good sign.
Yes.
Right, don't harass him now. You wait till you get the ID.
I'm not going to harass him at all. Hold on.
Put a timeline on it, because you don't know with New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission, and you don't know with the post office how long it's going to take. Just say, as soon as I get it, I'll call you. You never want to put an expectation to disappoint people.
I understand that. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little life advice from me to you.
No problem.
Yeah, Modine. Listen, Modine, we can get an ID on Canal Street for like $20. We'll have We the People take you up there.
Get the hell out of here. Why would I listen to Modine? He's a freaking maroon.
He's a what? He's a maroon? He's a color?
You don't ever watch Looney Tunes? Oh, what a maroon. Instead of calling him a moron, they call him a maroon.
we'd help me here with this, please.
I have no idea what he's saying.
I thought you
I'm speaking
Sunoco
gibberish.
employees all spoke the same language.
No, I'm outside. The outside people aren't the same as the inside people.
He's an indoorsman. We don't work on the same timeline.
But he's a house worker.
All right.
Love you too.
Maroon. All right. Addison, are you able to help us here with the maroon?
What up?
What's up, brother?
How you doing? Charles likes
I'm
to
good. Charles threw out a term here that I need a little help with. I consider myself.
Apparently, someone never watched Looney Tunes growing up as a kid.
Charles, you still watch Looney Tunes at 30. That's the issue. I was watching Looney Tunes 40 years ago.
There's no wrong.
You can still watch Looney Tunes at this age. There's nothing wrong watching Looney
There's no
Tunes.
wrong watching Looney Tunes at 30.
You two
How
have
dare
a
you,
lot in
sir.
common. The more I
Also,
find out
Charles,
about
can
you.
you tell him how long your ID has been expired for?
Oh, a bit of over a year.
Over a year.
Jesus.
All right. Over a year than expect. Well, we went through this the other day. He doesn't drive.
I know.
He doesn't buy alcohol.
Yep.
He doesn't go to clubs. So he doesn't
Yep.
go anywhere where you need to have an ID. His ID is his Asmaniac fanny pack.
The club was it expired there, or was it like days before when you guys took
When
him
we
to the
took
club?
him to when we took him to the strip club,
Yes,
they didn't
that-
ID. It was before 6 o'clock, so you just walk in before 6 o'clock.
There you go, Charles. One place you don't need to wait for your ID to come. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't have to wait for him to come either.
Giggity, giggity.
All right.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Sticky short Charles. But I called him to say what's up and talk about the Jets, and Cisco sent me something that I would like to open. Oh yeah.
Cisco
Okay,
is
could
not
that be a goat?
backstage. Cisco is under the weather
Yeah,
since yesterday.
I was messaging him. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Do you want to open it and then, or do you want to wait for him to be present?
I can wait. I'm patient.
All right. He always goes back and watches the show. That's why I was asking. I give it your call, but I respect it.
Okay.
I like it.
Cool.
I can't wait
Oh,
to
yeah.
see what we got.
Yeah. The
I say we. I can't wait to see what we got.
anticipation builds. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hey Siri, text Cisco Lopez. Give me a thumbs up if you're watching. He's not in the studio. He has been like laid up in bed since like yesterday.
Shizzle.
afternoon.
What, you're not feeling well?
Hope he feels better, man.
Oh, better than a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. Cisco is watching. Thank you, Cisco. You didn't have to do that, but I love you, buddy. Hope you're feeling better. So, Addy, go ahead.
All right.
Let it rip.
I will let it rip literally at the bag.
All right. We're going to go full screen. Ooh. I wonder if it's...
Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. On 8/24 too. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Oh,
nice.
shit.
Hell yeah, Cisco.
Kobe Bryant, baby.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah.
Hey, the Black Mamba one too. The snakeskin one. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Thanks,
Oh,
Cisco.
nice.
You're the man, dude. Let's go.
Kobe Bryant, motherfuckers.
I know it's a Jets show.
Why are
Sorry.
you cursing, Charles?
I
Yeah.
felt like it.
Oh,
Charles, why are you cursing and talking in a different voice?
Some ghetto like that.
Since when?
I'm just joking. God, you guys are awful.
Okay, well, let the joke keep going then. When I ask you since when,
Since
Cisco,
For
just
years.
about 15 seconds ago. Cisco, I need that clip of him saying I'm ghetto like that, please. Awesome
That's
job,
sick ass.
Cisco. Addy,
What a
nice.
sick ass
Looks good.
jersey, Eddie.
oh yeah. And dude, the Titans, they're getting smashed the opening game. They made Drew Lock look like Drew Brees, bro.
Yeah.
And it was their starters. It was all backups. You look at the sideline of Seattle, there was like 12 guys just chilling in their jersey, no pads. Like Sam Darnold, the started running back, a bunch of their receivers, they were just chilling. Half of their defense. So yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
Dude. And Cam Ward sucked against their
Your
backups. in
updates were
three.
getting me like excited because
He
you
was
were
garbage.
texting, you were putting it in the chat. You're like, "Yo, they suck."
Yeah.
Drew Lock's marching up and down the field. Like I was reading
Yeah.
your updates with excitement in my brain.
I didn't even realize it was the starters at first. That's what I said. I was like, it can't be the starters.
He was 12 for 14, bro. He marched them down the field twice. Drew
Love it.
Lock was, yeah,
And Simmons
Drew
and
Lock.
JJ were playing, right?
yeah. The starters were out there. Tony Adams, JJ, Solomon
Cody
Thomas.
Adams is not very good. I'm sorry. I don't think he's that great of a safety.
That's you target
No
him.
one's-
You hope Brees and Braylon are running at him, and he has to try to tackle them with that
Hell
weak
yeah.
ass shoulder chuck that he does. Tom
Charles-
Ace says Charles is an OG from way back. Charles, how do you feel about Tom Ace calling you an oversized Gorman?
I think he means original gangster.
I don't
feels
know.
good.
Don't listen, Charles. Don't try to assume what Tom says. All right, you don't know Tom like I know Tom.
I
know
thought
what
it said
Tom-
original Gorman.
But if I was an oversized Gorman, I'll take that as a compliment.
You are a
You're just
bit.
talking about the pot belly, nothing else.
Yeah, dude.
Gotta
I don't
get
have-
a belly.
What, Chuck?
I don't really have much of a pot belly that I used to have, but it's
You couldn't see your fanny pack if you looked down.
Why the fuck you lying?
Turn sideways. Turn sideways.
Take it out. Yeah, take it out too.
Oh, hold on. I can't.
Yeah.
Take it out, Charles.
Give me a second.
my fanny pack's not on.
All
No.
Turn.
Not-
Don't move your feet and like go to the left. Just turn to the side. Now back up a little bit.
Dude, the screen's not big enough.
That's rotating. All right, now turn to the side. Bro, you
Lift
could
your
go
shirt.
to Lamaze classes right now.
Take it out, Charles. Lift up your shirt. Hell yeah.
No. There's kids watching.
I can't talk too much shit. I got a bit of a belly myself now.
Well, then again,
Did you just finger your belly button?
Yeah, he did. You saw that too?
Yeah.
Charles, just to give you hope, I was there. You can change, man. Dude, this is the year of Gorman.
It
Summer
is.
of Shine's ending. We need the fall of we don't need the fall of Gorman. We need the autumn of
this is
Gorman.
an action movie. The Fall of Gorman. He's there.
We need the autumn of Gorman. This is where you're working. You're going to be moving more. You're going to be up. You're going to be on a better regiment. I'm telling you, start going up and down the stairs at the building. Get your exercise in. You'll feel great about yourself, dude. You got a paycheck coming in. You start to lose weight. You get rid of the 60 hamburger buns. You start throwing them out the window at people as they walk up and down Oak Tree Road. There's so many good things that you can do. Do it all, bro. Take over the world, Gorman.
I'm about taking over the world, but I'll see what I can do.
You're a superhero with a little bit of evil tendencies. You can definitely take over the world.
That's
Like
true.
Dr. Doom.
Or Dr. Evil.
Shave your head.
You're more like Mini-Me, though.
Bro, Charles, shave your
Mimi's
head
cool.
off live on air.
Addy, he'd give himself brain damage. Have you seen him shave his chest and his neck?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, true. It
was quite the sight.
Scalp himself.
Oh, he's Charles.
He'd
What's on the
scalp
menu for
Good day,
dinner,
guys.
Charles? What's on the menu for dinner?
You should have a
Oh,
good one.
I had a PB and jelly.
Shit.
I'm
glad.
problem.
Just one?
Yes.
Did you leave the butter knife by the sink in case you want to go back for another one later?
No.
Ah, noob.
All right, amateur.
You
Have a
always
good day,
do.
guys.
Charles. No. All right, be good, Charles.
Have a good day. He's done.
Good talking to you.
Also,
brother.
I used two knives, one for the peanut butter and one for the jelly.
What?
Yeah,
Interesting.
just to piss everybody off.
He's like, I'm not doing these dishes. He just throws them in the sink.
Yeah.
I do. It only takes 2 seconds to wash a knife.
Robert C says, sack the quarterback. Thank you, Robert.
So,
Hell yeah, Robert. Beware, Spider-Man.
That's right. Watch out for Spider-Man.
Yep.
All right,
Oh, man.
I gotta go to the dispensary and grab my vape. I'll talk to everybody later.
Wait a minute. How about the video that I had the guy make for you?
Oh yeah, that shit was fucking awesome. I don't know who he is, but that was dope.
I'll send it to you. He's got 62,000 followers on Facebook. It's Day Live or something like that. No spaces. And I'm with Sophia. We're down near like Hamilton. I stopped at Boot Barn down there, and I see a guy come up on a scooter, and he's got the seated scooter. And we go in 7-Eleven. Me and Sophia get a bunch of drinks and snacks. And I come out, and he walks out with a coffee, and he sits on the scooter. I go, I'll be right back. She goes, oh, my God, what are you doing? And I go up to the dude, and I'm like, yo, my boy, he's part of the Scoot Squad. And he looks at me. I'm like, he's got a scooter. I go, he lives over in Kingsburg. He got hit by a car on the scooter. I go, you want to show him some love? And just I'll record a video and we can send it to him, wishing him well. And he's like, yeah, man. And he recorded the video, no problem. And then he comes over to the window. Sophia goes, oh, my God, what did you do now? And he comes over. He's like, yo, follow me, Day Live or Day something. I got to look it up. But you got to follow him, dude. He came over and let me see, Day Live. He's got 63,000 Day Live, no spaces on Facebook. So I told him I'd give him a shout out on the show when I had you on. But yeah, go check him out.
Yeah, that's just dope. I'll check that out before I leave the house.
Scoots,
Eddie, you chilling tonight?
Who knows? We'll see.
I saw Lanterns the other episode. Very good.
That's a tease. That's a tease in the
business. Gonna be good. All right, everybody. Deuces,
be good, man.
Deuces and gooses for everybody.
Oh, so woo. Oh, I did.
And
Derek gifted a channel membership. Thank you, Derek. Derek's channel membership went to David Hall Jr. Thank you, Derek. You were on the wheel for this Sunday's prize. Also, we have 24. Shout out to Kobe. 24 and Darrell and Freeman McNeil and Ray Mickens and Ken Griffey Jr. and Tino Martinez.
Yep.
Anyone else I'm missing? But there's 24 Cisco entries to give away at the end of tonight. Thank you, Cisco. Appreciate you. And feel better, bro. We miss you. Now, the end of the month is coming. On this channel, if you hit the join button right now, you are in your own raffle with all the other shiners for an opportunity to win a prize. Anyone who's a paying recurring member of the channel gets put on their own raffle wheel at the end of the month, and we will give another prize away there. Now, Addy.
What up?
The Geno Smith hype. You buying, you selling?
I'm hoping the stock goes up first.
Oh, so you want to buy then? If the stock's going to go up, you want to buy it now before it goes up.
It's it's preseason, but I'm not gonna put too much. But at the same time, credit's due where it's due, and he went out there and did the thing. Had a nice drive and got the hell out of the game. That's exactly what you want.
Now, I've talked to Dylan Terman about doing game streams together, and if the Jets look that good when you and I were on, you're gonna have to do a game stream with me.
First quarter, hell yeah.
I plan on being there. I'm in Nashville for week 1.
Okay.
Nikki's birthday is the 17th. It's in between week 1 and week 2. And he said to his mom, he's like, I want to go to the Packer game too. And she's like, you're going to your father the weekend before. He goes, yeah, but it's my birthday. He goes, I want to go.
Nice.
He goes, we could do something on Saturday. And he goes, then I'll go with Dad on Sunday. And she's like, fine. But I know the way his mom says fine, because that's how I got whenever I wanted to do plans. It was fine.
Yeah.
I go, oh, she's mad, dude. I go, whatever. I go, it's football season. Like, you had the whole off season with her. Like, now it's our time to shine. And he goes, let's go, bro. So, but then after that, when we're 2-0, that Lion game week 3, we'll be here. Maybe we can get David D to call in for a little bit if he's feeling up for it during the Lion game.
Yeah,
get David to make his debut. And I made a promise, Addy. You know me. There's a point during the week where I start to ramp up and I go into my coach speech and I go on my little rant. I'm a man of my word, and I told David D I will be very respectful and there will be no trash talk that week for the love that we have for David. So I will find a way to eloquently state how and why we can beat the Lions. I hope
right. From a respectful, the gentleman off. But with the Brees that's just gonna linger with his injury. And Braylon's big for nothing. Isaiah's hurt. Like, is there any veterans out there that tickle your fancy? Kick the tires on him? Eckler?
I mean, Trey Benson doesn't do it, but he's just released today. Omari mentioned him earlier from the Cardinals. But I'm a big believer of if you have a very good offensive line and you have a very good run scheme, you can bring in agile, mobile guys and make it work. So if something were to happen to Brees, I don't want to get another Braylon. I want to go find maybe a scat back or just a speedster, someone to run the stretches and using the screen game and the passing game. So it might not be the most exciting name to go get, but it might be somebody who can do some things that complement Braylon and things that he can't do.
Yeah. And I know he got hurt last year, but what's kick the tires on Eckler? He's a free agent, right?
He's more of an Allen though, right? Especially at this point with all the injuries. He's more of just a straight ahead type of back.
Yeah, but he's got more of this. Allen is just I feel like Allen was always just used to being the biggest dude on the field so no one could tackle him, but that's not gonna work in the NFL anymore. He hits the hole, that's true, but like after that he just gets stuck. And I don't want to completely give up on Braylon Allen because he is a huge running back that a lot of teams want, but he's big for nothing right now as of what I've seen. Hopefully that doesn't.
I'm looking at the names now. So the names available are Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Nick Chubb, who just announced his retirement, Mostert, Kareem Hunt, Alexander Madison, Miles Sanders, Keontae Ingram, Deneric Prince, Cam Akers, Chase Edmonds. If anything, I would roll the dice on 30-year-old Chase Edmonds, who's a pass catcher and would complement Allen. Yeah, I think that's the guy that complements Allen the most.
I don't want to hand Allen RB2, especially with Brees questionable, and we know how things happen to him seemingly every other year.
Yeah.
He didn't get hurt last year.
Yeah. I mean, there's Kareem Hunt, no. Madison, I think he have an injury last year?
Yeah, just to show up and get another mind in there to tell these dudes what they should be looking for and, how to attack and be a veteran.
Yeah. Chase Edmonds can catch the ball out of the backfield. And if that's something you want to replace with Brees, that might be your best option. It's definitely a poor man's version of what Brees can do, but at least Edmonds has that green veteran presence. He knows how to pick up blitzes, But the rest of these guys, I think, are all guys who aren't really great pass catchers. Mostert's got speed, but he's 35, and he always gets hurt. We don't want to take a guy who's getting hurt if we bring him in with another guy who gets hurt every time he steps on the field.
True that.
But
yeah, hopefully the Braylon is the undisputed 2 behind Brees this year, and he comes back.
Yeah. I hope Brees comes back, and I hope Brees is just amazing, and that they're a great 1-2 punch, and that our rushing attack is one of the better ones in the league and takes the pressure off everything and feeds the passing attack. Only good things, man. Only good things. Like that hat. Right. Show everyone that hat and tell them where they can get that.
This hat right here, yeah. Brand new Tazzy hat. Kicks by Carly. Shout out to her. She's awesome as hell. Go to the shop and go all the way down. All the way down. But hell yeah.
Oh, somebody say my name? Speaking of going down, any reports stop from the field, Diana Rossini? Oh, sorry. Dinner time. She's got a mouthful. I'll never get tired of that.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Bobby killed. That's what she said for me. So I'm glad that I was able to reinvent it with hashtag Diana Rossini quotes.
It'd be like that, yeah. Or that's what she heard. That's a nice variation.
That's what she did. That's what she did. She did what she said.
Yep.
All right. Let me wind this show down. Old man needs an early night. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning for Boy Green and me be sleepy.
All right. Get your melatonin on. Hell yeah. Have all the shiners out there. Have a great night. Nick, you as well.
You going on?
Thank you. I think so. Maybe. I'm just chilling. I think I will just be chilling tonight, but hell yeah. And Cisco, once again, thank you very much for the Kobe jersey on Kobe Bryant Day. How perfect. 8/24.
That is really fitting that it got there today.
Hell yeah. But yeah, you have a great night, and who knows? Who knows? Spontaneity is one of my favorite things, and keep your eyes peeled. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
There's Addy's link. If you haven't already, go over and show him some love. Throw him a sub. And when you hit the chat, tell him Nick Shine sent you.
Yeah, do it. Put a little shine emoji. But yes, running back, Running back. Brees Hall, stay healthy. Braylon Allen, stop being big for nothing. And Isaiah Davis, I really have no opinion on him.
Yeah. He's the X factor, right?
Yeah.
You hope you don't have to use him a lot, but he's probably going to have a role at some point. So,
see.
Yeah. He wasn't bad last year. In Cincinnati, he broke a 50-yard run. He looked good, but other than that, there wasn't a lot. But that was the whole offense, right? A coincidence, the day that Justin Fields looked good as a passer, we're breaking runs. So, who knows? We'll see.
Who knows?
But
all right.
All right,
Have
brother.
a good night. Peace
I'll
out,
talk to you soon.
everybody. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Last call, super chats, gifted memberships. Thank you to everyone who contributed throughout the program tonight. We have 24 entries to give away from Cisco. Making sure we got everyone on the wheel real quick. Let's do bang. Oh, that's the picture. We need the video. Bang,
Hey,
bang.
everybody. Guess what? I finally got a job. You guys never thought I'd ever work. To all of you that doubted me, I say fuck you and fuck Friga. Whoa.
All right, we got everyone. Next up, Ricky, New York. What's up, brother?
What's happening, man?
How are you, pal?
Did somebody say Trey Benson?
Yeah, but don't get Trey Benson.
I personally, I would take him. No, I don't want to have to give up anything for him, but
No, I think Arizona cut him today. I think they just flat out released him.
yeah, but it's something weird. Like if he clears waivers without being claimed, then he goes onto their IR. It said so.
Oh, so he's hurt.
Yeah,
Would they release him with an injury designation?
Yeah, he was waived/injured or whatever. So yeah, he's still recovering from the knee injury that he had last year, I believe. I mean that's what they say, anyways. I would think that he would be healthy by
they waived
now.
him today with an injury designation. They waived Trey. I'm looking at it now. Hold on. Benson, the oft-injured running back, has been sidelined with a knee issue. Is no longer part of the team's deep running backs room after the Cardinals released him as waived injured. Disappointing. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not touching that. You need to bring in, if we have a running back who gets injured every so often, we need to bring healthy guys in. And I'm not going after Trey Benson. I know why you like him.
You do know why I like him. You know what? I used to love watching him and Jared Verse race each other all the time at practice to try to prove who was faster. But man, you know what? Come Sunday, there could be some people come available, like people we're not talking about right now. Yeah. So we'll see. And that goes as well for other positions. Now, when it comes to like interior offensive line, I don't really expect anybody worthwhile to get cut because, dude, decent offensive linemen are just too hard to come by. And like the turnover that, like last year, we got really fortunate. All of our guys played the whole season healthy, but the 2 years prior to that, what did we use? 16 one year and 14 the other. Man. Like it was bad. So
it was real bad. The year Rodgers got hurt, I think we were 15 linemen deep. We were picking. That's when Xavier Newman joined the team. We were picking guys up and putting them in. Like we were picking them up on a Tuesday, and they were starting on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was rough, and I definitely, fingers crossed, man, we don't go through anything even close to that anytime soon again. But as far as some of the other positions, like, if they decide we do need another linebacker, if they decide to augment the safety room, like there's going to be some guys that are going to shake loose. And that's the thing, man. Like, every team's going to cut 30 something, close to 40 players on Sunday. So there's going to be a lot of people that don't make rosters that are still good football players. So, and I got confidence in Muji. You know, Muji has done a real good job at finding us value. So I got faith, man.
If Muji strikes, I trust in him, right? If he makes the move, I know the move needs to be made. He did it last year. He went and got Phillips, he got Briggs, and then he got Brownlee. He's made some moves where he self-assessed. He's looked at the roster and said, no, we can get better here. So I don't marry myself to any of the players in terms of they have to be here. I marry myself to the Jets. That's why I don't own jerseys. I've said this before. I root for the name on the front. I don't care. Whoever's on the team, I want them to be their best. Yes, there's players that I like. There's players that I root for. There's players that, you know, I've spoken to that, you know, I want to see them beat great Jets. But if the team moves on, I move on very quickly. Like Quinnen and Sauce were dead to me before like the announcement was. I was even done reading the tweet that they got traded.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Just beat great Jets.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, there's guys that held, you know, a couple of years ago I did buy jerseys, you know, like Jermaine. But you know what? As soon as he takes the green off, and I still like Jermaine, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same. Like, you know,
I wish him well from September 20th on.
Exactly.
From week 2 on, go be great, Jermaine. But week 1, get wrecked.
Man, you know, we've talked a lot about Bailey, how explosive his first step is. And I know it's only preseason, but Jermaine looked the opposite of that last night when I was watching him. He does not look like he has an explosive first step. He looks slow.
And we're going to get spoiled. We're going to get spoiled. Watching Will and Bailey get off the line, we're going to be spoiled with how quick they are. Can they be neutralized with power tackles? Yes. Can they be neutralized if someone gets a grasp on them? Sure. But their bendability and their ability to spin, if you get too far upfield, it's going to lead to a lot of holding calls. Everyone's talking about the sacks. I'm looking at holding calls too, because I think a ton of those are going to happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And even, you know, even different things that they can do schematically speaking. Like if you look at the first game, the sack that McDonald had, they pulled that stunt with Bailey where he came around and came straight up the middle. And if McDonald hadn't gotten the sack, either Bailey or Phillips would have, because they were both back there too. So
there's going to be a race to the quarterback, Rick, time and time again. It's going to be who can get there first. It's not a matter of if, it's going to be a matter of who.
Exactly, man. And it's going to be fun to watch. I love that shit. I'm going to love seeing our pass rush this year, and that's going to lead to good things for our secondary too. That's gonna, you know, help with that turnover issue that we had last year.
And when you know the good play calls coming, and you know that they can get home, you can cover for less, you can take chances, you can jump around, you can try to get an interception. When they're getting blocked and there's no time, and you're going to cover for 4 seconds, you're going to get beat in the NFL. But if you know that your edge rushers can get there in a second and a half, you can cover for a second and a half, and you can take risks. But Ricky, I appreciate you. Folks, if you haven't already, I'm dropping Ricky's link in the chat right now as well. Go subscribe to Ricky. He's closing in on 500. Let's go be a small part of the reason that he gets closer tonight.
Yeah.
Ricky,
yes, absolutely. Only 41 away. And thank you so much. You're a big part of how close I am. So I appreciate it, Nick. Have a great night, man. Have a great night, everybody.
Be good, pal. Talk soon. No, Mo. I just don't want you to hear me. Thank you. There's a comment before. You guys know the deal. Jets 8:30. My guy Nick. Love the new look to the show. Thank you, man. I moved, and the basement is just a beautiful setup down here. So I love it. It's a brand new vibe, brand new energy. Cisco Lopez is on as producer. We're doing great things here, and thank you for noticing that and shouting it out. Excuse me. All right. Again, last call. We have 24 raffle entries to give away from Cisco. This is not for the prize when we spin the wheel. We're going to play a quick video. Super chats, $5 and up. Gifted memberships get you on the wheel for Sunday's prize.
Hey, all you shiners. It's time for something cool. I'm here to do my part. I'll drop a stinky fart. No chicken soup for you. I'm gonna eat it up. Then I'll do a show and talk about the Green Hornet. I got a new laptop, you know it doesn't suck. I'll need to keep it down when I'm making too much noise. My mom will pull the plug and Dennis smack my ass, and that will surely blow. Hey fuckers, it's time for the Nick Shine Show.
All right. Jay says, did Charles get paid? He will. He'll get paid for those 4 hours. The guy said he would pay him. And now he's just waiting for the ID to get delivered. He applied for the ID the day before he started, so they knew he needed to get that. And you hope that it doesn't take the 7 to 10 days. You hope that motor vehicle process that and put it in the mail Friday, maybe by Tuesday or Wednesday this week. He gets it. All right. Oh, one more caller before the end. Let's bring in Macho. What's up, brother? Think you
Hey, can you hear me?
We can. Get closer to the house if you're outside. I think you might be on the verge of the Wi-Fi dipping.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I'm walking my dog and the Wi-Fi just got cut off. We're good now?
We're good. What's up?
Nothing. Just wanted to chop it up with you. How was the show today? Omari Brown, great guest.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I just got a text message from my daughter, and this has to be shared on the show. So if any of you follow me on social media or have ever received a DM from me, you know that I have an obsession with midgets. And my daughter just sent me a text that she was out and saw a midget, and she took the picture and sent it to me.
Saying if you know me and I've ever DM'd me, you know that I love midgets. I did not know where that next line was going.
They're carriers of joy because every time I see one, I smile. Like that. That's it. So the apple in the tree here. Very proud of my daughter.
Are you expecting any of the starters to start for the Giants game?
I do not expect them to. And I said this the other day, and I'm sticking to my guns with this. You had Demario Davis out there with the backups, with Sherwood, with Will. Briggs was out there. And I think that was just, let's get some of these key backups in to be out there with Demario to get a feel for what he's seeing, his checks and everything. And then I don't think you're going to play them. I don't. I think that drive out of Gino. If Gino looked bad and the offense stalled, I would throw them out for a drive. But I think this is going to be all backups, and it's going to be an awful game to watch because it's just going to be a lot of guys who are trying to make a roster and a lot of guys who won't make a roster playing.
Yeah, I saw that we just added 3 more players to the roster, so I'm assuming a lot. They're just trying to throw some bodies out there as opposed to some names. But I would like to see the offense do one more drive. I don't know if one drive's enough for the whole preseason to get us ready for the regular season. Hey, I'm talking. Sorry.
What are you at the Dreams house? Is that happy? You know what? If they play them, I'm okay with it. If they don't, I'm okay with it. Like I'm not gonna pound my fist on the table and be adamant about either way. If you think you saw enough and you got a lot of veterans here on the offense, I'm okay with it. But
do you feel like that was enough, or that one drive feels like, for you personally, that one drive was
forget, the joint scrimmages, you get a lot of work now. The joint scrimmages are where you get your 1-versus-1s. It's structured with you're not hitting the quarterbacks. The joint scrimmages are more valuable to teams in terms of protecting their assets, not allowing the quarterbacks to get hit, and having that real test. So that, to me, I think fans overlook it because they don't get to see it. But I think the joint scrimmages hold a lot more weight with teams nowadays.
So I would agree, but I would also counter with a lot of those joint scrimmages went up and down. Wouldn't that give us more reason to want to see the offense going against another team that's actually, even though the defense is vanilla, but they are still trying to stop you for the most part?
Yeah, I just think that the structure for the coaches and having, like I said, having that environment where you protect your quarterback gets the reps, everything's live. You can have a shorter whistle than waiting for a guy to get tackled in the game. I think that they get the work that they want to get. Gino got that work, and then he missed the Tampa Bay game with the foot, and then he came out and he looked confident. He looked poised. The ball came out on time. I think that's it. I think that's all we see. But if he plays, I'm not upset. I think they're not going to do it, but if he plays, I'll be like, all right, cool. Let's get a drive in and see what we got.
As somebody that's going to watch the game, I would hope to see some type of offense or something like that. But, I mean, I understand the value of trying to go into the season healthy, and the only way to kind of ensure that for the most part is not putting them out there at all. But I think it's still football at the end of the day. If we're going to factor everything on the injury risk, then I think we're playing a little scared. But like you said, if they do it, that's fine. If they don't do it, that's fine as well.
Absolutely.
Hey,
all right, brother.
You have a good night, man.
Appreciate you for calling, man. You have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Don't yell at the dog too much after we get off air. You know what, Jay? Words hurt, bro. It's been 3 years. It's too soon, man. Read the room, man. Why are you doing that to me? What did I do to you? Yeah, this is the most important thing. Everyone, people say, "Oh, did the Jets win?" Everyone's healthy. Everyone who walked on the field walked off the field. That's all I care about. Get everyone healthy to September, and then we go from there. John, I'm not sure. A friend of mine wanted to go and try to get seats and meet Method Man, but Method Man is with the Wu-Tang Clan in Atlantic City on Friday night, so he won't be at the game. So I doubt it. I work till 5, and I don't want to deal with the turnpike at 5:30 heading up there and all the traffic going to the stadium. If seats that I can't say no to fall into my lap, I'll go, but I'm doubtful right now. Derek with a question. Pons hasn't practiced at all. Is this a concern? No. I just want him to be healthy. And if it takes a couple extra days, okay. We know he's a baller. We know he's a player. We know he can, get himself right. And you hope that the Jets get him ready. I think he's going to be a very good, nice contributor to our team very quickly. I was on with Court Sports. And if you haven't already, go over to Instagram and subscribe and follow to Court Sports. She asked me what rookie would I buy stock in, and it's Pons. The first rounders are easy to choose, but I think Pons is going to be the identity of our secondary. Tough, physical, smart, undersized, but plays bigger than he is. And I think that fans are going to love him. And the Aaron Glenn comparisons are going to make him a fan favorite. New York always roots for the underdog. They always root for the guy who can defy against the odds. Aaron Judge is built like an athletic specimen. Pons is going to, Corbett was smaller. Aaron Glenn was smaller. These are guys that we hold dear to our hearts because they defied the odds and they were still great aside from not having the chiseled 6'4" plus, built like an Adonis type of frame. I also just described Knobcraft, so 6'4", built like an Adonis. All right. Agreed, Greg. I don't think he will. All right. These are for Cisco gifted 10 memberships early in the show. So these are for 10 entries from him that go to David D. So, David, you got 10 from Cisco. And then Cisco gifted another 10. That goes to Ralphie. Congratulations to Ralphie. And then Cisco put in a $20 super chat. So we got 4 more entries to give away here. That goes to David D again. So David gets 14 extra entries. All right, folks, we will be back tomorrow night. Probably 7 o'clock. I got someone coming at 6:30 to buy the dryer that we're selling. So probably 7 o'clock we'll be on. Looking for a guest maybe to join. Oh, Boba Jet, look at you popping up in the chat. Hey, football's coming back. Boba's back, baby. But 7 o'clock tomorrow, and then we might be off Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe Thursday I'll do a pregame for Friday. If I don't go to the game Friday night, I'll be on here for the game. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. I'm not sure yet. As always, if you're part of the Discord, you will be the first ones to know. Thank you, everyone who has supported this channel on the come up. The summer's not over yet. We are 4 subs away from 2,600. We got 40 of you watching right now. If you are not subscribed, it would be really cool if you hit that button right now and we can get to 2,600 before the end of the stream. So if we get that, we'll come back. We'll celebrate. It's the Nick Shine Show, produced by Cisco Lopez, musical artist Blitz BK, you, the awesome supportive chat. Also, I owe Cisco a few of these.
Here we go, baby. J-E-T-S, Jets, 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 let's go, baby.
To the member.
And one of these.
You have superpowers. You got to fly over there.
Camp Live presented by Honda of the summer. We're going to be here for 9 more shows throughout camp. Garrett Wilson is going to be here as well. We might have another special guest, but Gino came out of the...
Here we go, baby. J-E-T-S, Jets, 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 let's go, baby.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Oh, we'll do one more refresh. Did we get it? No. All right. Maybe post-show we'll get it. 4 subs. We got a lot of people joining. Good night, everybody. Listen to David Bailey.
Hey, y'all go subscribe to the Nick Shine Show.
Subscribe to the Nick Shine Show, man. Come on. You heard him. You got to do it. Now, don't make the all-pro right tackle come after you.
Get ready for this All Jets Pro. Get ready for this all-time host. Get ready on your mark, set, go. Get ready, this is Nick Shine Show. Green and white nights, here the city locked in. Let's walk, Jets talk, another season with friends, another season with Glenn. I hope to see some more wins. I'm so seasoned with the pen, I hope we season the fins. We see brief, quick spins, release the beast from within. 20 shining like Nick, you know we gotta call in. You can make a couple Jets points, jokes in your spins, give away a couple memberships if you ball in. He got giveaways and deaths, plus his tunes are the best. Gives you plenty time to talk how to improve on these Jets. Win or lose, we don't sweat, we don't boo on these vets. Ain't no booze for this vet, but we boo on the press and then move on to the next. Every year, June to June, we talk New York Jets. This is Nick Shine time, this is New York's best. Might have lost his big toe, but never lost his breath and never lost his step, never.
Here we go, baby. J-E-T-S, Jets, 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 let's go, baby.
Get ready for this All Jets Pro. Get ready for this all-time host. Get ready on your mark, set, go. Get ready, this the Nick Shine Show.
Here we go, baby. J-E-T-S, Jets, 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 let's go, baby.